Lounge Radio. With your hosts,
Dark Sakura, Sky, and Loki.
Repeat after me. I will not believe everything I read on the internet. Nintendo hardware, Smash Brothers rosters, the time to fake is high before E3. But could a relationship between EA and Comcast for video games on your cable box be true? Find out this week on the show where every gamer has a voice.
Orange Lounge Radio.
Hello, my friends out there on the internet, and welcome back to another week of the show where every gamer has a voice. It is Orange Lounge Radio, live on this May the 4th of 2014 with the 551st episode of our show. And yes, let me get it out of the way right now. May the 4th be with you, blah-de-blah-de-blah. But for me, as a fan of Arrested Development, maybe not as hardcore as some other people I know, I would say it's actually Happy Cinco de Cuatro. And yes, I know it's totally wrong Spanish, but if you see Arrested Development, forget it. All right, anyway, my name is Rob Roberts, and I'll be joining you over the next few hours to talk about video games, gaming culture, and the gamer lifestyle with my co-host. Sadly, not here tonight, Dark Sakura. She has the night off tonight, but we do have here in studio Loki.
Hi.
Hey, Loki, how you doing?
Doing okay.
Good to hear. What's new with you?
Not much. Just looking at pictures of Legos.
Pictures of Legos. Why are you planning on investing a bunch of money on Legos or something?
No, just ideas.
I see. Yeah, have you ever fiddled around with that program that allows you to build your own things offline and then order the exact right Legos to make the thing?
No, I'd be afraid of how expensive it is because it's going to be expensive. We actually have a local Lego shop over here that they sell pieces and whatever. So I haven't really gone in there because, once again, I'm afraid of how expensive it is.
It's an expensive hobby from what I understand. So there you go. Good luck. And I noticed to the show tonight you brought your very own pizza, but you got your pizza well done.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I like it well done.
Fair enough. All right. Well, since we don't have Dark Sakura here tonight, we do have another friend of the show here in studio to fill in and help host tonight. It's always good to see him, and we might be seeing him a lot more often in the coming weeks. Say hello, everybody, to Shane.
Hello.
Shane Alinko here with us tonight. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yes.
So you live here now.
I do.
You do? You're back in Northern California. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And so we might be seeing more of you on OLR in the coming weeks?
Depends on if I'm awake or not.
How's your rock and roll lifestyle going? Do you sleep all day and party all night, or what?
Yeah, if partying is trying to catch Pokemon all night till like 5 in the morning, yeah.
Well, how was the experience in Northern California? You came here from Kansas, for the listeners that didn't know. And you've been on the show on and off literally over
like a decade.
all the whole years. Yeah, I think I first met you, my God, when you were like 19 years old, I think. And it was when I was living with Loki, when we had that first episode numbers less than 100.
Was it 9? No.
I think so.
No,
it was because we did episode 69 from the apartment.
Yeah, no, Shane was only like 19.
Oh, I was 19. I thought you said you were 19.
Oh, God, no. No, I was 24 when the show started. Actually, technically 23. Because the show started 3 days before my birthday.
Yeah, it was probably like 19.
Yeah. So, crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're back from Kansas.
Mm-hmm. And
how does Northern California compare to Kansas?
It's better.
In what ways?
Name one, and I'll agree.
The weather.
Yes, it was 100 today where I'm from back there, and they had humidity, which makes it like 743.
And let's see, how about the arcade scene, the games?
Well, there's not really one here either.
That's true. We can go to Golfland and have some sadness.
My friend has his own DDR machine.
Scandia, I hear, is not so bad anymore because like one of the local Bomani enthusiasts actually runs a lot of that.
See, when
Scandia had Pump It Up, so I was happy about that.
They also have the new Beat Mania 2DX.
Okay, I don't get that because when we went there, Shane and I went there when he was visiting like a couple months ago. None of that. We didn't see any
it
of
wasn't
that.
there a couple months ago.
Huh. Well, Shane, we got to take a trip.
We can go play Spada. That's what it is.
All right. I want to say hi to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com. We are at the Voice of Geeks Network, and we do tape live every Sunday night at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, right after the Bobby Blackwell Show at the Voice of Geeks Network, www.vognetwork.com. Alan Alchemy in our chat room says Shane likes California better because Del Taco.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Okay, true story, you guys. True story. First off, the first part of the true story. Shane, as long as I've known him, has been like addicted to Taco Bell. Like he's eaten a lot of Taco Bell. Mm-hmm. A lot. Why do you like Taco Bell of all places?
I don't know. I really
You
don't.
had Jim Boys?
What a convincing,
I've not had Jim Boy.
What a convincing answer. Okay.
But their breakfast is really good at Taco Bell now. So
Now,
I
again-
have to vouch for that.
Again, I've known you since you were 19, and to put things into perspective, you're 30 now, so I've known you a long time. Yes. And in that entire time, I've always said when you come to visit California, I'm like, we should go to Del Taco. You like Taco Bell, you're going to like Del Taco. It's a very California thing. It's even better. And you're like, no, Del Taco sucks. Del Taco's stupid. I'm like, oh, he must have had it once and he never liked it. Well, come to find out, I just find out this past week, you never had Del Taco, so you went and had it, and you were like, oh, this is so good.
Yes, except for their French fries, which, one, you're a Mexican restaurant. You shouldn't have French fries. You're stupid. 2, refer back to 1. And 3, they were way too salty. It's like there might have been some French fries under that salt somewhere, but I couldn't find them.
People are going to think we're on their payroll.
Their French fries are terrible.
They're I think they're good, but people are going to think we're on their payroll. We're not.
And
no
they
more
have
free
a hamburger.
advertising.
What the crap? I'm not going to eat your hamburger.
No more
That's
free
dumb.
advertising.
Now, the Bacon Double Del is pretty good, though.
All right, no more free advertising. They want more advertising. They're going to have to pay for it. All right.
I haven't been there in like
there's one like
I
right
don't
by.
know.
There's one not to give away where I live, but I mean there's a few Del Tacos in Stack. I'm just gonna say there's one like right near us, so it's like probably less than a mile. So it's painfully addicting.
I haven't been there since the first studio.
Oh wow, that was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
so like
All right. Also, I wanted to say, because some people are asking, like, where was Jason in the intro? Is Jason gone? No, Jason's not gone. He's just gone for the week. Jason's traveling right now, so he had to drive a lot today. And we actually do all the show's production on Sunday. Like, I do the show roll on Sunday because we want to make sure we get as much news as possible. And sometimes still there's breaking news during the show. So he wasn't able to do the production schedule today. So that was my voice in the intro and doing the passphrase this week. But Jason will be back, I think, next week, but he's on a road trip. So I just didn't want everybody to go like, oh my God, is Jason gone? No, he's still around. He's still helping with the YouTube, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, Jason does archive all of our episodes on YouTube. And you might be like, well, why would I want to watch something on YouTube? Because it's really convenient. Like, you can do YouTube on your 3DS. You can do YouTube on all of the consoles. Sometimes it's a little more convenient than the MP3 files. And we want people to be able to listen to the show as easily as possible. So if you want to listen to Orange Lounge Radio on your 3DS, you can do that via YouTube. The only catch is that it is delayed by 1 week. The reason why we do that, we want to draw people to our site to get the viewers and the numbers and all that. Yes, I'm fully opening and admitting it is kind of a trick to actually retain our listenership because we don't want to lose everything to YouTube. So, but YouTube is an option for especially the archive stuff, and Jason works very hard on that. So we thank him for all that. So. And Dark Tetsuya says he just saw that episode 550 went up on YouTube. It sure did. So that was Jason that did that. He also likes to sync, like when we're talking about the classic game of the week, he'll actually put the video of the classic game of the week. He does little things like that too for those that are actually watching.
So as I mentioned, remember on Twitter, because I saw this thing about that they're going to be marathoning all the episodes of The Simpsons and 552 episodes of The Simpsons. So we have recorded, including the E3 specials, because they don't really number those, more episodes than there are of The Simpsons.
That's scary. Well, that's because most TV shows only do...
Hey, don't belittle what we're doing here.
No. I mean, we've been doing this way too freaking long. But, most TV shows only do, 22 to 26 episodes in a year, if that. I mean, a lot of them are only like 12. But you think of a show like 24 is a great example. 24 is coming back. They're having a shorter run this year with 12 episodes, but usually 24 was 24 episodes, right? One for each hour. So most shows do that, but we produce something like 46 at least in a year. It varies depending on how many weeks we have off in the year, because obviously if you do one every week, you get 52, but real life happens. We don't always have one every week. So we do about 46 or so a year. So it's pretty crazy. A lot of hardworking podcasters out there crank that out. There's probably I know some that were on a daily basis got even more than that, and that is dedication, folks. That do the daily shows. That is a lot. So, all right. Anyhow, I want to get to the gaming news and our kickoff topic and our gaming weeks and everything, but I did want to kind of address this in our kickoff topic tonight because E3 is right around the corner. We're getting to be about 1 month from E3, a little over a month from E3. No word as of yet if VOG Network will be represented at E3 yet. We put in our request about 2.5 weeks ago and still haven't heard back. So Bobby and I are getting a little nervous because we don't know what we're going to do about hotel or any of that if we do get in. But we're hopeful. But regardless of that situation, E3 is happening in about 5 weeks. And all the big gaming news, a lot of it's being sat on until then. You're going to see some of it trickle out as people want to get the jump on E3 and people want to build the E3 hype. Like you saw Nintendo do some of that this week, and we're going to get into that in the news. But speaking of Nintendo, a lot of lies start to come out around this time, right before E3 too, about what companies are going to show. And one of the big ones that's been gaining a lot of steam out there is Nintendo is going to release new hardware at E3. Well, in a statement to website computerandvideogames.com, Nintendo came, and this was posted on Friday, Nintendo came out and said, not happening. Okay, they basically said, reps told this CVG site on Friday, this reveal is not under consideration. So that's on record. They are not revealing new hardware at E3. Now, I don't know if that necessarily means it's not a new console or anything like that, because I still kind of go, it would not be outside of the realm of all possibility for them to do another DS type of remake. Now, I'm not necessarily saying like a new, like a 4DS or, I mean, right, or a DS that has new powers or something, but I would think maybe like, what about like a reconfigured 2DS or something? That would not be outside the realm of all possibility to me, but it's like them putting out something to trump Wii U or whatever, not happening. That's reverse fanboy wank.
Yeah, I don't even see them redesigning the Wii U because you don't really need to make that console smaller. I mean, it's pretty small as it is, and maybe tweaking the gamepad or something. But I just don't see them doing really. And why would you want to do that anyways? It's confusing enough as it is with everything out there.
I think it would be, I mean, for Nintendo to put out a new Wii U this soon, I mean, they can tweak
the Game Boy Micro.
They can tweak the Wii U they have. I mean, I wouldn't think it's outside the realm of possibility that they somehow figure a way to make the technology cheaper. Maybe they reduce the size of the gamepad or something. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't necessarily
or increase
think
the storage space or something. Yeah.
Something. They reconfigure the Wii U that's out there for like a Wii U. I don't even know what they'd call it. Super Wii U or Wii U 2 or I don't even know what you would call this thing. Wii U Lite, Wii U.
Call it Wii U.
I don't know. Yeah, just Wii U New or something. Whatever they call it. I mean, they could slightly reconfigure it, but they're not going to throw everything out where like none of the games are going to be playable anymore. I think we know Mario Kart 8. They're hedging a lot on that and the new Smash Brothers. You know, I don't know why people believe that this is really going to be true.
I love the rumor was that they're saying that like they're launching a system that's called a Fusion that's going to play all these 3DS games and stuff like that. I'm like,
well, I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that Nintendo is going to look to marry their handheld console and their home console. I don't think that's like outside the realm of what is possible. And you see them moving closer and closer to that with the GBA games you can play now on your Wii U, right? With Virtual Console. And you even said a long time ago, they're going to do DS or 3DS games on Wii U. And then they did. They're going to do DS games on Wii U.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And I even think they're going to do it the 3DS because they don't really care about 3D too much in those games. And they have the right aspect ratios with, your TV and your gamepad to where you could do it. I mean, they say they can't emulate it, but come on. Mm-hmm. They have emulators on PC that can run 3DS stuff, so I don't buy that.
Here's my other question. Why do people feel the need to lie about this shit going into E3?
Because they want hits. Because they want, people. Some people get off on tricking people, and some people just want, page hits or something.
Well, I mean, as far as page hit goes, I've seen some real cheap-ass stunts for pages. Like, just even this week on Twitter, there was a site that, and I'm not going to name the site because I'm not going to contribute to their cheap grab for hits. I didn't look to see if they ever apologized for it, but it's a website that a lot of World of Warcraft players kind of visited a lot because I think their roots were kind of in that or whatever. I see a lot of people in that community that I follow because of Horde House. This site ran an article that was like, the top 15 sexy girls holding controllers. was the article, and it was literally like one of those you click one for each picture, and it's sexy girls holding controllers, and sometimes provocatively, sometimes wearing not so much clothing or whatever. It was a really gross way to try to like get hits, because a lot of these pictures that were put up were from like charity events and so forth, and it wasn't a super diverse group of women either. It's just, it kind of reinforces certain stereotypes that I don't think are good for gaming. So obviously this is a really stupid thing that they did. That's the types of stuff that you see people do for cheap hits. I mean, BuzzFeed has made an industry out of this, right?
Yes.
And sharing stuff on Facebook. Like, we could do more of that on VOG if we wanted to, but there's certain lines I'm not going to cross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that. So, Fifth Dream in chat over at live.vognetwork.com says those sites seem to finally be dying. I don't know about that.
No, I wouldn't buy that.
Unfortunately, it got a lot of people talking about it, and people checked out the article out of curiosity. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they didn't. But I don't know. It really it irks me to know that E3 is looking for websites of a certain volume, and that's all they're looking for is a traffic volume. And they use these really archaic methods of measuring that traffic. That's what they're looking at to see who is media and who's not for their site. And knowing that somebody is going to reach those marks by putting pictures that they don't even own in the first place. I mean, other debate aside of whether the pictures are appropriate or not, they don't even own these pictures in the first place, of 15 sexy women with controllers. Like, knowing that that's how you do it, I don't know. This is kind of gross to me.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like I'm not willing to go there just to feel special in going to the show or whatever. Like, I am proud of the work that we do here at OLR and the commitment that all of us, myself, Loki, Dark Sakura, have to it, and having done it for weeks and weeks and weeks and so forth. Like, I'm not gonna stoop to those kind of levels to meet these archaic qualification things. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Fine. I won't get to tell you stories from E3. We won't get to do the interactive stuff. You can be spoon-fed the same press release crap that every other site's going to be running, whatever. But, anyway. I got a little bit on the tangent train. Sorry about that. Anyhow. Shane, you've been awfully quiet. Why do you think people want to lie about E3 stories? Why do people lie about this stuff?
Because they want hits for their crappy sites. They just hide behind that.
It's not always crappy websites, though.
Yeah, it is.
And a lot of times, they may be just trying to not even say educate guesses, but like just try to take guesses about things. And that way, if they're right, they can say, "Hey, look, we said that first," and that's supposed to give you some sort of credit.
Oh yeah, the next Call of Duty is going to be on the Golden Gate Bridge, you guys. Now I'll just pull that out of my ass and take a gamble, see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. I had to. I'm sorry. I know that's a sensitive subject, but I had to. All right. Anyhow.
It's water under the bridge now.
All right. Yeah. Well, you thought the usual suspects would be reporting on this news, but it is what it is. All right. Anyway. Let's get into our gaming weeks and the types of video games that we have been playing this week, and then we'll get into some more gaming news. I'll start with Shane. Dark Sakura's not here tonight. She usually goes first, but Shane, you're our guest. What types of video games have you been playing this week, including right now?
I've been playing and am currently playing a lot of Pokemon. I am trying to complete my Pokedex that I've been technically working on for years now. I am 12 Pokemon short of the 718 needed, and I have been playing it way too much. Way too much.
Now, why do you have to collect all 718 Pokemon?
Because the theme song said so.
I was gonna say the song
back
says
in the
so.
day, and you can't go against that. And B, you get this item that makes it so you can find shinies easier. And that is what I want to do.
And what do shiny Pokemon do?
They look shiny. And
That's
they look different.
They're a different color. What does shiny Pikachu look like as opposed to regular
darker
Pikachu?
yellow.
That's it?
Yeah, well, he's worthless, so.
Whoa.
Some of them get blue, and that is enough for me
You
to
make
want
a
that.
big, and a lot of it's not just you, but the Pokemon fandom in general makes this big stinking deal out of these shinies, and that's it. They look slightly different. That's it.
Yep. They used to have better stats back in the day when they were first introduced, and now no, it's just that one might be slightly differently colored, or sometimes they look really different because of their color.
I was doing a live stream the other night on Twitch of Final Fantasy 14 or something. I don't even remember. But Shane was in the living room with me, and he was playing Pokemon, and he caught a shiny while I was on the stream.
I was so happy.
And he took over the stream with Pokemon talk. He's literally walking up to the camera. Look,
You told
there's my
me
shiny.
to do it. So you
Because
can't
I wanted to know
blame me.
I wanted to know what the big freaking deal was, because you're sitting over there going, I got a shiny!
And it was uglier. It's like some Pokemon look a lot better as shinies, but this one did not. It looked like somebody threw it in an oven, left it in there for a little bit, and then took it out.
Oh my god. What shiny did you get?
Swirlix.
I don't even know what that is. It
It's the cotton candy Pokemon.
sounds like laundry detergent. All right.
No.
So that's it. So you are a Pokemon nerd of the highest caliber.
Yes, I really am.
And why you're 30 and playing Pokemon, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine. I know a lot of folks that play Pokemon, but why? Why after all these years are you still addicted to it?
It's still a fun game. It's got a solid gameplay structure that works every generation. And now it looks better on the 3DS, so I'm not gonna give it up. It's fun to collect them all, or frustrating. It's both of those F words.
All right. Anything else?
I played Final Fantasy 14, Skylanders, a little bit Infamous, and that's it.
What have you been doing in Final Fantasy 14? Like what?
Playing
what are your goals there?
Leviathan over and over and over. It's
And
got
that's the
amazing music.
The new fight they patched in about 3 weeks ago at this point.
No, we're almost to 3 months.
Is this the Leviathan patch? Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
2.2 was Leviathan, and then
No.
2.3 is coming out in June.
2.2 came out in April, didn't it?
End of March.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Yep.
Wow.
I know it's been that long.
Time flies.
Yep. So I've been doing that and getting my items from there. I want my water donkey and some things to upgrade my items, and that's it.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We'll come back to Skylanders in a little bit, but we'll go over to Loki first. How was your gaming week?
I played nothing.
Nothing. Loki, what's up?
I've been coding.
Oh, that's right. You've been.
Yes, I've been doing lots of coding.
Didn't I see something go up on YouTube?
Oh, I've been putting stuff up on YouTube every now and then, just because I get bored of just looking at code and I want to see some actual progress. So I'll take breaks from stuff. I was working on. I'm using this program called Cubicle, which does voxels to do the kind of graphics. So I made some test stuff because it's hard of looking at a box and just a box firing more boxes at another box.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to look like something. So I just was messing around with it just to kind of learn the program a little bit. And I made a ship, and then I made just a really stupid looking missile thing. But I've been just have video of it kind of firing the missiles in a big old volley and stuff. And
Okay, so you haven't been disconnected from video gaming altogether. It's just that you are right now obsessed with this making your own game.
I am
Gotcha.
absolutely obsessed with it. So that's what I've been spending all my time on.
Well, good for you. That's an admirable project. Good
Well,
for you.
I was trying to play some Call of Duty this week, but unfortunately I missed the people I play with by a few minutes because baby took longer to rock to sleep than it normally did, and so they didn't see me on, so they just said, "Oh, we're gonna call it." And I was like, I missed you. I checked a few minutes late. Unfortunately, it didn't sync up there, but so that's what I've been working on, and I actually got in touch with one of because my music that I've been picking and stuff, I have no budget, so I have to pick free music, and that involves a lot of Creative Commons songs. And so I've been spending a lot of hours searching for Creative Commons work, and I actually found one that's going to work perfectly for the intro or the theme song for the whole game. And but the problem was it had some anime samples in there, so I got in touch with the artist, who actually is a huge fan of shmups and that type of thing, and he actually wants to score a shmup and stuff. So I'm like, hey, is there any way that you can make me a version of that song without the stuff in there? He's like, yeah, hell yeah. So I'm like, Sweet. So
Nice.
that was the big exciting news today.
I was going to say you should put a call out. You never know. We might have listeners out there who are kind of musically like they might be amateur music, just like you're amateur.
It's hard
gaming.
because like I actually had someone hit me up on Twitter, and I don't even think that they like knew anything. They just was doing like a general search for like people making games or something. And it just like some of that music just didn't work. It was like a lot of hip hop stuff, and it's hard to say like what exactly I'm looking for because it's basically I have to listen to the song, and if I can imagine like okay, this is gonna, it just has the right feel to it.
Didn't you try to say like Pendulum meets Daft Punk meets? Or
no, that's not even that. And actually, it's funny because I was looking for that kind of like pendulum drum and bass stuff, and I actually found a lot of it just recently. It's actually, I think it's another genre of drum step. So it's a cross between drum and bass and dubstep. They have a lot of that. So I did find a lot of that stuff. It's just a lot of it, this Creative Commons stuff, especially the electronic music, and even there's a ton of dubstep for one. And two, like all the dance songs sound very similar. Like they use almost the same, it's not like the same instrument, but the way that they are structured is just like, oh my god, I'm just like listening to the same fucking song for 50 times. It's just ridiculous. But that's what I've been working on. Is just that I'm trying to get to. I'm at a point now where I need to start making some of the assets because, I'm trying not to explain too much about the game because I wanted to, I'm still working out stuff. But basically, it's like if you crossed a shmup with Borderlands. So you've got, it's a 2D shmup, but you're ships are customizable in every way. So you can customize what weapons are on it, the way it looks, and all that stuff. And each thing has different features and stuff. So you can literally play this game like you can almost any other shmup. You can play it like an Ikaruga, or you can play it like Gradius, or you can play it like whatever. And so it's kind of catering it towards, however you want. Now, I know that sounds absolutely complicated. Bobby's always saying, don't do something complicated. But you know what? Fucking simple games are fucking boring to me. So I'm going to do something complicated. And you know what? It's actually worked out fine. I've had no problems figuring out how to code anything. It's just, it takes a lot of time. And just like now,
it's interesting to me, too, to hear about all this little shit that goes into games that sometimes people forget, like the soundtrack. You might want to make a game, and you might want to, but you might not know the first thing.
If you have no budget, that's hard because you got to, otherwise you're either going to find free music that people want to have and, they use their music. And then on top of that, like if you want to have a big soundtrack, you got to pay someone to make that music, or you have to pay artists to do that kind of stuff.
All right. Bobby is talking about this in our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com live on this Sunday night. Bobby says, Loki is being Peter Molyneux right now. You will be able to plant a tree on the ship and it will grow. And Dungeon Buster says, will the ship have a dog?
The ship is not going to have a dog. And no, I hate to be compared to Peter Molyneux, but no, seriously, that's what I'm, I have set up. That's what I've been building is just this customization thing where you can, I'm trying to do all the framework, and then when I'm done, I can basically, create a model and put stats on it, and that's it. That's all I have to do is create models and stats and be done with it. So that's why I'm trying to do all the coding first, but I'm getting to the point now where where it creates a ship from the parts, and I don't have any parts yet. I just have this like stand-in ship model and a bunch of blank stuff. And so I'm running into errors because it can't find these generic parts. So I need to create a set of generic parts first so I can do more testing on that and then finish what I'm coding. So I'm taking breaks now to, last night, I was like, I'm too tired to actually code on stuff. I'm just going to listen to some music. So I listened to about 200 Creative Commons tracks. Wow. And so I've been picking out stuff and just, okay, this works. Because Creative Commons, what was it? CC BY is basically all you have to do is attribute the artist, and you can use it in a commercial product. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay them. You don't have to do anything. That's it. There's not a lot of that out there, and you have to also know where to look, and it's hard. It's a lot of searching, and a lot of it's just like,
if maybe there's some artists out there who might want to help, so hit Loki up on Twitter.
Sure. I mean, in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to post stuff on my YouTube page. I'm posting stuff on, Twitter, and I'm not going into really any details. Like, I know what the title of the game is, but I'm not going to say, and I'm not going to go into really any more details about anything else because I don't want to. I just feel like I would jinx it if I did that. Yeah.
I like hearing how it helps too, because you sometimes are a big critic of video games. So having to feel the pain of making one a little bit, I think is going to be
there's a lot of stuff it's like I made a save file. I'm like, holy crap, I made a save file. It's amazing. It's like, it's like stupid. It doesn't even do anything right now. I mean, other than, okay.
What's it saving? I don't know.
It's saving nothing right now. It's a bunch of blank, data, but, it's made a save file. I'm like, it's a save file. It's so amazing.
Going to the chat room, Bobby Blackwolf is saying, to be fair, Loki, you did give up multiple times already. But he says in parentheses, I'm actually really proud of Loki. I just don't want to admit it because then I'd be a softie.
Hey, let's put it this way. I was working on a complete different game, and I'll even tell you what it was because, unfortunately, it was, it got lost when my computer crashed last time. I was working on another, like, F-Zero racer type game. I was like, what should my first game be? I don't know. I'll make a game that someone else wants to play. Okay, Rob likes F-Zero. Okay, I'm going to make an F-Zero game. So,
oh, you were going to make me an F-Zero.
I was going to make an F-Zero game that wasn't quite F-Zero, but, whatever. And funny enough, actually, I was looking at some stuff the other day.
G1.
And someone actually, first off, someone made a game that has the title that I was originally going to call it. And then there's another person that made another game that looks exactly like the game I was going to make. I was like, well, whatever. I started over. And this was the concept that I'm doing now was actually one I had like about 4 or 5 different things I was throwing around. And at first it was like, okay, this is going to be way too hard. I'm not going to be able to do this. So I gave up on it, went to the F-Zero thing. And then when I lost it all, I'm like, well, crap. I don't even remember how I got onto doing a 2D shmup again. But somehow I got onto doing that. And then that's where I stuck with it. And so I don't know, it's been fun. It's a lot of work and a lot of like, I have to be in the right mindset to be able to code stuff because, like, I'll stay up late. I'll be really tired. It's a lot of Red Bull. So it's just getting in the right mindset. And I wish I had more to show. It's just, right now it looks very plain. It's just all code. So
all right. Well, good luck to you. We'll be looking for updates in the coming weeks. And now we'll understand why you're not playing as many of other people's games.
Yeah.
So good luck. All right, let me talk about my gaming week because I've played a variety of new games this week, actually. I played, and Shane brought this up earlier, so I'll get right into this. I played Skylanders for the first time. I had never played these games before, and it was kind of like Shane with Del Taco, as we were talking about earlier in the show. It's kind of like, I don't like Skylanders. I haven't played it. I just know I don't like it because, they want to sell you all these figures, and it's a cash grab, and da-da-da-da. So Shane set it up for me, and he's like, I don't own too many Skylanders.
I don't.
And he dumps 16 of them out on the table.
That's 16 across 3 games.
But were any of them Spyro?
No.
No, none of them were Spyro.
I don't care about Spyro.
So,
neither does Skylanders.
So I played Skylanders, which specifically I played the new one that's on PlayStation 4. So Skylanders Swap Force, right, which is the third game on the PlayStation 4. So you and I played that, and there's actually, we caught the whole thing on a live stream, and I even put it up on my YouTube channel at Rob Roberts Plays if you want to see like us playing it for the first time. I got to admit, it was a pretty good looking game. Like, it's on PlayStation 4, so the graphics were good. And there's, like, these scenes...
Which is why I specifically got it on PS4.
There's these scenes where you're, like, racing down a tree branch and around that looks like something out of, like, a Sonic game or something. It actually looks really good. And the quality of that's pretty good. Obviously, it's geared towards kids, so you got a lot of loud colors, cartoony vibe, big text, short sentences, things like that. The game is really geared towards kids. The gameplay itself is very platformy. Somebody had called it Diablo-esque to me, but that's.
I think the earlier games are more like that.
Probably.
Like it wasn't so platformy back then.
It reminded me like a lot of like a kiddie version of Gauntlet, which is fine because that like a Gauntlet Legend for kids, or something.
That might be.
I can see that. Like you smash pots to find gold, and you use the gold to upgrade your characters. Like it's pretty basic platforming stuff. And as a basic platformer, it works pretty well. Shane and I, there were some neat little co-op games in it, like to unlock doors. You go through these little puzzles where you try to join the green box and the blue box, but you want to collect little bolts on the way. Like it's a little puzzle thing, and they're fun to play co-op. So it's a fun little platformer. I will admit, overall, I liked Skylanders more than I thought I would. That being said, it is completely obvious there's a huge cash grab going on,
especially
here.
with the in-game advertisements.
Yeah. Tell us about this, Shane. Tell us about the in-game advertisements.
So to get like the final power for each character, there's these soul gems, and they're littered throughout the levels. You go and collect one, and it'll be one for some random character. And like the one we saw was for Popthorn. Well, I don't have Popthorn. Thankfully, they let you preview a video of Popthorn so you can see what you're missing out on.
Yeah, mommy, mommy,
Yeah.
mommy.
So that's kind of dumb, but
yeah. And there's these little gates in the levels, and some of them will be like fire doors, so you have to have a fire guy to get through the door. Or you'll have a ice leaf door where you have to have one ice guy and one leaf guy. Or, because it's Swap Force, you have a ice top and a leaf bottom or whatever. You have to be both elements to get through that door. Here's the thing, though, and this is very important. It's not like those rooms lead to full-fledged levels. They really don't. It's like one room. But the thing is, that room's going to have, what?
A hat.
More coins, maybe a hat, which is their version of armor, basically, that changes your stats. If you want to really collect them all, so to speak, you're going to have one Skylander of each element. Now, thanks to Swap Force, not only are there elements, but there's powers.
Oh, and don't forget the giant boxes, too.
Oh, yeah, and the giants. And there's giants.
But you only need
game.
one giant.
Yeah, you only need one giant, but now you have to have a fire railroad or whatever. You have to get a railroad guy or a what else the hell else was there? Like
there's stealth
guy or whatever.
The tornado ones. And you were giving me such crap for not being able to go to so many places.
I was, because I was like, why can't we go through that door? You're like, I don't have the figure. I'm like, there's 16 fucking toys here on the table. You don't have the right figure?
Nope.
No, you were missing a lot of them.
Yeah, because I do not buy all of them. I buy the ones I like, and that's not always a whole bunch.
So if you're the type that's OCD and has to complete everything, do yourself a favor, stay the fuck away from Skylanders. Yeah. Stay the fuck away, because it's going to drive your OCD bonkers.
Yeah, because they already announced the new game has 60 new characters to collect.
Yeah.
Collect. Collect. Like it's like I can go
like
pick them up in
Pokemon
a game or something.
Yeah,
60 new characters, which, each character is about $10, so that's $600 worth of characters right there. And
I bet the trap team, the bigger ones, are going to be more expensive.
Yeah, those are always more expensive. And then 40 new enemies to capture, which means I'm sure that each one of those gems is going to... maybe you're going to only be able to store one enemy per gem or something.
And maybe
like
they'll
that.
be cheap and be like $5 each. That's how they get you.
That all being said, as far as like a platforming experience, I actually had a decent time. I would go so far as to say I might buy the game for myself if I can find a deal on it, which I don't know if I'm going to
That's what I do. Like, I didn't buy Swap Force when it first came out. I waited until it was like on sale for $35.
Yeah.
Which is 40 off the original price.
But I'm going to repeat to myself over and over and over, I don't have to open every door. I don't have to open every door.
Only buy the ones you think that are cool.
Yeah.
And then you can always go back, because the figures work up through the series. So if you have an old figure, you can always bring it into the new game. Find an old figure. Remember, we were at that place you hate yesterday, and they had like the triple packs. They had ones that were on sale for like $10. So that was 3 characters from an older game that you could use in the new one for $10.
But they don't level up power-wise up to the same as the newer characters.
That's true, but I think that falls along the same lines of the people that collect all of them.
I like that little air bird I was playing as. I know that was one of the newer characters. I'm like, I just need him.
Yeah, Free Ranger.
Yeah. So,
well, yeah,
it just depends.
Having played Disney Infinity, it's just as bad. They do offer advertise the same thing, and a lot of times you have to have a full set of characters in order to be able to unlock like stupid things. Oh yeah, and the blind packs are fucking terrible. I bought a lot of those, but yeah, it's just not worth it. But the blind pack things, it's not so bad because those are really only for the toy box stuff, and you don't really need them. I don't know.
Now, let me say this. This is the one thing I didn't say about Skylanders is the figures themselves. I have to admit, I'm going to call something out when it's bad, but I'm going to call something out when it's good. And I've got to admit, those figures, like the 12-year-old boy in me really loved the figures that light up when you put them on the portal. Like some of the newer, or is that only the new ones?
No, the ones that were lighting up.
Yeah,
those are
figures.
light core.
Okay.
Those are more expensive.
Well, whatever. They're cool. Like when you put them on the thing, like the one guy with his little jewel little
prism
arms or
break,
whatever.
yeah.
The prism, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, like his little arms light up, and I was like,
really
that's
bright
fucking
green.
Cool.
Really, really bright
That's
green.
fucking magic, man.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And do they change the portal? But I mean, the only time you're going to see it light up is when you're playing the game.
Were you
right?
talking about the portal?
The prism dude?
Yeah, but you were saying something about the portal.
The only time you see him is when he's on the portal, right? When it lights up, or is there other ways to get him to light up? Not when you're playing the game.
No, that's the only way. But it's also like those light core ones in the game, they light up more than the regular ones also.
Okay.
So they have their like you could get a regular one and a light core one, and the light core one will play slightly differently because it's a light core one, which is neat.
So the bottom line on Skylanders for me is this: it's not awful, it's not even bad, it's a decent platformer. It's a fine platformer, but know what you're getting into with this crap, and don't feel OCD about it, and realize that there really isn't that much behind all those doors.
And there's a great resale market too.
Yeah, I mean, can you tell the story about that one figure?
Yeah, I have one that I picked up while I was working one time, and I knew that it was rare. It's just an ugly variant of a figure. It's not painted right. It's stoned. Like, it looks like granite. And that's a legit variant that they put out in packs sometimes. And that thing can sell up to, according to what I saw, $750 unopened, which is how I have it.
Stupid.
Yeah,
See,
but that's because
so
of those
stupid.
OCD people. Like, oh, I've got to get every single variant.
Like
The
your ex, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't get that one. There's like one that they did for the holidays for Activision Blizzard employees too. That I thought looked pretty cool. And I know that one sells for a lot also. And that was the only way you could get it was if you were an employee at that party.
And Bobby says he got one at E3
Yeah.
that apparently is
Yep.
a really good seller too. So, yeah. All right. So anyway, there you go. That's Skylanders. Not as horrible as some people think, but yes, it's a cheap cash grab, and don't be very careful buying it for your kids. That's all I'm going
Wait
to
till they
say.
do Pokemon.
Huh?
Just wait till they do Pokemon.
I'm really surprised they haven't. Well, there was the
The Rumble Blast.
The Rumble, yeah.
That didn't
That
do so
was-
well.
That wasn't done.
They
like,
didn't execute that well at all.
No.
They didn't
And
advertise it at all.
No,
The figures
they
were
executed it
like
horribly.
an inch tall. They were
Yeah.
really crappy
Now,
figures.
I don't
I
know
had
what-
some of them.
I don't know what the
so.
hell they were thinking with that. They didn't do it right. So
No.
if they were to do it right,
No, I don't want. I am trying to get 718 in the stupid game right now. I do
It's
not
so
want to
futile.
pay.
They release a new game every year, and then it's just you have the more Pokemon. You gotta
Yeah, but at least now they have that bank feature in this game where I can put all these guys into the Pokemon bank, and when the new game comes out, I can bring them back in, so I never have to find them again.
hope that save doesn't corrupt.
Oh, don't say that.
but they all go to the cloud.
Yeah,
it's
the
all in the cloud.
the cloud is
all my Pokemon
great.
are in the cloud. As long as the cloud doesn't burst, or you get hacked.
No.
Chinese or Russian hackers take all your Pokemon.
They took my Pokemon. I would declare war on whatever country.
All right. Other games I played this week. I played a demo for a game called Child of Light that's brand new.
I did that one too. I forgot about that one.
Well, you played it, or you
I
just
did the demo. Yeah. I
Oh
played
yeah,
the
but you
demo.
turned it off after like 5
Yeah,
minutes.
because it's crap.
I liked it. I actually liked it quite a bit. The thing I liked about it a lot is that it did a lot of different stuff I don't see in RPGs very often. Like, a lot of RPGs, kind of the same thing over and over, but Child of Light did some really neat stuff where the right stick controls this extra little monster that can float around the battlefield. Well, I say monster, but it's really an ally. But this extra little fairy or whatever that can float around the battlefield and like freeze monsters or heal your people. I thought that was like a really neat mechanic. It was a really stupidly simple thing, but I can't think of another RPG I've seen that in, which I really liked that.
Yeah, that was neat, but the gameplay, like the actual combat system, I thought was crap.
Well, it's very basic RPG. Either you like it or you don't.
They really should have just made it a platforming game. Everything else about the game was great. I can't deny that.
It's a really gorgeous game, and
Music is great.
Music's
Music is
great,
really good.
and everything rhymes, which is interesting. Just a little way to do it, but
Yeah, and that's cool. But have a decent combat system if you're gonna do that.
see, now here's what I disagree with. Act Deft in chat says Child of Light reminds me of Bravely Default, but better. And by better, I mean good.
Wow.
I do not think Child of Light was better than Bravely
No,
Default.
Bravely
at all.
Default is amazing, and
But-
Child of Light is a piece of crap.
I
A
see,
really
I wouldn't go
pretty,
that far.
wait, a really pretty sounding and pretty looking piece of crap.
I did not think it
that
was a-
rhymes.
I didn't think it was a piece of crap at all. But Bravely Default on one hand was a very familiar game. Bravely Default had a very familiar sense about it. And it did do some new things within that with the whole like street passing and some of that stuff that Bravely Default does. Bravely Default
microtransactions.
Bravely Default was like, I don't know, Bravely Default was like going to see a new Harry Potter movie that comes out in the series. Like, what you're gonna get. It's you've read the book already. It's kind of the standard stuff. You kind of know. Whereas Child of Light was it was different. It was more of an art house indie film. It's doing some new things. You don't necessarily know what to suspect. People respond differently to it.
So wait, are we
Shane hated it.
Are we saying that like Bravely Default would be like Labyrinth, whereas Child of Light is like Pan's Labyrinth.
But did you hate Pan's Labyrinth? Because
I didn't really care for it.
See,
it
no,
was
a
very
lot of
visually pretty.
see, okay, yeah, then yes, that is
Yeah.
actually a really good example
And
because
Labyrinth is my favorite movie of all time.
a lot of people
But
love
Bradley
Pan's
Default.
Labyrinth.
Well, they're the people that like stupid Child of Light and probably Ni no Kuni. So they're awful people.
Whatever. All right. So, yeah, Child of Light. I played that. I did not actually get the full game yet, but I probably will, to be honest. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of the same stuff I talked about last week. Shane really enjoys watching me play NES Remix 2.
It's over now, though, so I'm very sad.
He says it's over because I beat all this. Well, I didn't beat all the stages.
You
'cause
beat all the remixes,
I will not
right?
fucking play Wario's Woods.
Oh, yeah.
I will not. Like, I tried with Wario's Woods. What the fuck is that game? Seriously. I like puzzlers, but Wario's Woods is got to be one of the worst ones I've ever played. I would put that up there with Tetris on the PlayStation. If you've ever played the PlayStation PS1 port of Tetris, it's god awful, and I would put Wario's Woods up there with that. It's that bad. So I refuse to play those stages, but otherwise I played like most of the rest of it, and yeah, Shane watched me get really frustrated. I
It
think
was so funny. It's the best.
the Kirby stages.
There was this
were the
Kirby
worst
stage
to me.
where he had to float up and not get hit by the spiky things, and it was like 20 minutes of him getting hit by the spiky things, and I was laughing so hard.
It's a bummer you can't live stream that gameplay, huh? 'Cause
Yeah,
then the whole internet
that'd
coulda
be great.
had a lull at that, but it's so frustrating.
Just remind me seriously to bring my capture thing because I'm not using it. Just sitting.
I have a capture thing too, but it's delayed. It doesn't work.
Mine's HDMI. And it's
Oh
not
my
delayed.
god, bring it over.
And then you can play that stage over and over again.
No.
What was another one that you sucked at?
No.
There were a lot of them.
Actdeft is screaming at me in chat. Wario's Woods is awesome. What the hell? It's different, but it's good. And now I'm talking about Kirby. I don't dislike Kirby, though. I like Kirby, but I dislike what they
Yeah, like
did
that
to me
new
with
Kirby
him.
looks really good.
Yeah.
Good.
I dislike what they did in NES Remix 2, but no, it was fun. I got to say, spoiler alert for NES Remix 2. I don't think this is a big deal, but the very last stage in the second set of remixes, the very last stage is you save the princess as the princess, meaning you beat Bowser in Mario Brothers 3 with Super Mario Brothers 2 Princess.
They showed that in the trailer.
Oh, do they? Okay, well then it's not that big as a spoiler. But, you know, where she does the floaty and you can't get hit because if you get hit, she dies. She's a one-hit kill or whatever.
Because she's a woman.
Stop it. Not cool. I don't. But the Frog Mario thing was the same way. You get hit one hit and they die. But anyway, with the princess, you get hit once and she dies. But what's really funny is that when you beat it, she goes through the door and gets to the castle, and it's the princess meets the princess, and it says, "Sorry, but you are in another castle," or something like that. Like it changes the words so that it's an old play on that joke. I'm sorry, but our princess is in another castle. But then it's like, sorry, but you are in another castle. Ha ha ha! Just kidding. And then that's the end of the stage.
You know what would have been a good remix is something to do with like the part in Punch Out where you're on the bike and your trainer's running after you. That could have been a fun stage. They didn't do enough with Punch Out in that game.
They didn't do enough with
love
Punch Out.
Punch Out.
They really didn't. Like I don't think there was a single remix stage that used Punch Out.
No, I think it was like, one of the last remixes where it was like 8 different stages.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
there's like a...
the lights went out.
Yeah.
Silly.
That would be funny, like to have Punch Out where he's just like punching other things in the air, like he has to punch the
Well, they did like Mario 2 is in there, so why couldn't they have put Wart in there instead of like King Hippo? So you'd have to punch Wart or something. That would have been cool.
That would have been funny.
punching the eggs from Birdo or something.
Yeah.
Or punching ducks from Duck Hunt. That would be hilarious.
Go to our chat room. As soon as Shane cracked that joke, Rama's like, no Jamie tonight? Like, where's Dark Soccer to smack him into place? No, Jamie is off for the night.
She wouldn't smack me.
She would
give me a look, and
she
I
would
would say,
definitely
I'm sorry.
Made a huff, yes.
And
I hope
then I've been like, let's go play Final Fantasy 14. I'll go to the dungeon with you.
All right. She might be listening. Be careful.
No,
All right.
I just said my apology.
I know. He's not serious, guys. All right. Anyhow, I think that's really all I have for my gaming week. Otherwise, Final Fantasy 14, Diablo 3, all the same stuff I always play. So yeah. I will give a cheap plug for my Twitch channel, though, because ever since I got my new computer, I've been doing a lot more with it. So,
and your PS4, you've been doing.
And my PS4, yeah, I've been streaming on both. So check out Twitch TV, Rob Roberts.
Oh, that's something that you should have said. When we were doing Skylanders, you could not see chat, and I wonder if that's something to do with the game.
I don't know. Yeah, they updated because the PlayStation update changed some things. Like the Share Factory is really cool, I got to say. If you haven't checked out Share Factory, check it out because it makes movie making really easy. That was a great move on Sony's part to really get people to share more of their gameplay footage that's being saved. It's really a powerful little program. But they also upgraded the Twitch functionality. Now, I don't like the new layout. I'm going to be honest because they put chat on the side. So you could, I guess, see more of it. Instead of more than 2 lines, you could see a little more. But it word wraps. It doesn't word wrap at all, really. And then in the bottom, it's just elapsed time. I liked it better with the scrolling messages at the bottom and then the elapsed time. But you can get rid of those borders completely and just have the camera. That you couldn't do that before. So that's pretty cool, but I wish you could move the camera around the screen. That's the one feature I would like to see because in Final Fantasy 14 I could put the camera over the chat box so that the people in my free company
so when we say inappropriate things.
Yeah, when I'm live streaming, they don't feel like they have to censor themselves cuz what's being said is broadcast on the internet or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah, Bobby Blackwolf in the chat says, "I'm on Raw TV on a new line." Yeah, that's what it looks like when you're chatting on the Twitch TV now. Anyhow, quick housekeeping. I don't have a whole lot to add. I will say follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/OLR. Also Facebook, facebook.com/Orange Lounge Radio. And Google+, google.com/+Orange Lounge Radio. I do want to mention a few things with VOG Network. Again, our show tapes live at the Voice of Geeks Network. That's vognetwork.com. If you haven't checked out the new TV reviews section, TV reviews by Critical Myth, I really urge you guys to check it out because the crew over at that show, Critical Myth, has been really diligently every week. Like they're pushing like 10 to 15 new reviews of TV shows to our site. It's like all this new content. It's great. And you can interact with it. And when you interact with it, you might receive some loot. And the loot helps you get raffle tickets. And the raffle tickets, we do have the raffle's been on hiatus for a few months just because, we fund it completely out of pocket. So sometimes we would rather pay to keep the site running than pay for a new raffle. But we do have a raffle this month, and it is, I believe, Season 1 of Arrow, the new series on the CW, on Blu-ray. So if you want to win that, you're curious to check it out, you want to win it, or maybe you're a fan of Arrow and you just want to get it for free because you don't want to buy it because I don't think it's a cheap Blu-ray, go enter the raffle. And you can get participation points at VOG Network just for listening to this program. Somewhere in the show, you're going to hear, if you're listening live, you can check in on the site as the show is broadcasting live. But if you're listening on the podcast, at some point during the show, you're going to hear that little doo-doo-doo, and then it'll say, to register participation, the passphrase is, and then you type in that phrase, you get your 5 points, and that's 5 tickets into the raffle. Really cool stuff. And that's just a little something we give our fans and participators just to try and increase awareness of the site and all the cool things that we have there. So check that out once again, vognetwork.com. All right. Do remember though, the raffle is opt-in. You have to go say, yes, I want to enter the raffle. You are not entered automatically. So you're going to want to check that out at vognetwork.com/raffle. Okay, you are not entered automatically. And I believe this particular contest is U.S. residents only. I am so sorry to our overseas listeners. It's just that the cost of mailing and all that, we can't do everything. But we do try once in a while to have something digital or something that is much more lightweight that we can send overseas. We have done some overseas eligible ones. So I just want to make sure you guys know it's not that we don't like our overseas listeners because we love them very much, but it's just the reality is the cost to include you guys is a lot more. So check that out, vognetwork.com/raffle. All right, now let's get into some gaming news. There's plenty of it. Despite the fact that we're only a few weeks away from E3, there's still lots coming. So Loki, start us off.
Yes, if you thought that Comcast possibly merging with Time Warner was bad, well, EA is looking to Comcast to sign a deal that would make EA-published games available on Comcast's, and this doesn't make it confusing enough, X1 television operating system. Yes, there's the X1 Comcast box and the Xbox One, and both now play games. Wow, confusing. I guess they were saying that the X1 is an HTML5-based streaming platform, and I guess it has... Now, I thought that was only a DVR, but I guess they're saying it's going to have, internet cloud support and apps and that kind of stuff. But now you'll be able to stream games to it. The lineup so far is probably going to include a new FIFA, Madden, Monopoly, and Plants vs. Zombies. So not necessarily like, Battlefield 4 or anything like that, but more of kind of a, not casual, but just like kind of for everybody type stuff. Of course, they're still figuring out revenue share and, release date stuff. But yeah, so you'll be able to, another platform to be able to stream games to. I just think, man, the name of that is just fucking X1 and Xbox One, and now they both do games. It's like,
ooh, that might. I wonder if that will cause some legal ruffles. But it's Xfinity is Comcast.
I think Xfinity had the X1 before the Xbox One had an Xbox One.
Wow. Okay, that's good. That's gonna be interesting.
So,
yeah, the newer Comcast boxes are pretty powerful little things. Like they're basically like they're Apple TV type units. And they're little computer things. I mean, they're really powerful. Like the old clunker we have was like one of the first HD units, so that's what it does. But that's about it. And I think it does DVR too, but I don't pay for it.
If I remember correctly, I think these do the room-to-room DVRs and that kind of stuff. So they have all that functionality. But I wouldn't imagine.
The new ones do everything.
I'm surprised. I don't think you're gonna find a Netflix app on this thing or anything like that.
You might in the future.
Really?
For money, yeah.
What doesn't have Netflix nowadays? Like,
I would think though,
Netflix.
Comcast, a pay-per-view, content provider, would probably be less likely to want to include, a service that you can get same content.
Comcast and Netflix are playing nice now, thanks to net neutrality being fucked over. Netflix is paying Comcast money, which is bull, absolute bull. But what can we do right now besides petition our lawmakers, which is what people are trying to do and need to do a little more of to push the importance of this issue that we need net neutrality. Or this type of wheeling and dealing we're gonna be the losers in it. And when you guys bitch about it costs too much or Comcast sucks because they limit and I can't do it, then maybe you should have complained about it before.
How long until we see someone streaming a game to an X1 through an Xbox One?
Well, if we are able to stream games at all anymore that aren't Comcast approved, who knows?
Hey, that's why EA is getting in the ground floor of that, right?
Yeah, I guess. They know evil when they see it, so they're attracted
both,
to it.
Both, of course, winners of the worst company in America.
Yeah, right?
A few times over, so they're in good company.
Boy, oh boy. So, all right, I'm all for more games getting out there and everything, but this is just kind of one of those things where it's like, this is why I need net neutrality, because I don't want this to be the only way to play games. That makes sense. So... this is all still rumor status though, right? Although it's one of those things that seems very plausible.
I don't think it's rumor status. I think that they're actually working on it. It's just, I don't think it's going to be that big of a thing. It's just because they're going to be streaming games. It doesn't mean a lot of people are going to take advantage of it. Because I think people that are going to play like, Plants vs. Zombies or something aren't probably going to do it through cable box. They're probably going to do it on a PC or tablet or whatever. I think it's just... It's more exposure to those games, I guess, and exposure is not terrible. It's just they have to weigh the cost and benefit, I guess.
Going to our chat room over at live.vognetwork.com, Rama says just what we need: a multimedia cable box. Pass. Well, that's kind of already here, I think. But Rama also says
I think that's a joke.
The X1 box was made by Motorola, which is now Aris. That sounds like Yaris. Loki, here's an FAQ and links you to something there about more information.
Aris won Survivor one year.
No, this one's spelled ARRIS.
Oh, okay.
All right. And let's see. Kaijudo says Netflix sounds like they want to become a cable network and not what people love about it. I don't know. I mean, I sort of saw the Netflix originals not really as wanting to be their own network, just so much as I always thought it was kind of a way to kind of compete with cable.
I think it's just why do I need to get Netflix? I want to save contents on TV. Well, it's because you can get this other stuff. They want to. It's like, why do I want to subscribe to HBO? Because there's a show I want to watch on it, or there's a couple shows I want to watch on it. It's not like a ton of.
I want to see Game of Thrones boobies.
They have tons of movies on there, but they're trying to be like an HBO or Showtime. Yeah. And yes, the way they can do that is more boobies, more Skinemax.
So that's what they need on net. Well, they do have the Women in Prison show. It's actually pretty good.
That's not entirely Skinemax, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. But
All right. Well, speaking of television and so forth, you know what? Netflix isn't the only one that wants to put their own programming out there. I think you guys remember Xbox is getting into this. We talked at length last week about the whole they dug up ET in the desert. That was all for an Xbox original. Xbox wants to do original television somewhere in between major game releases. They're talking about premium television experiences. They hired some big TV executives to kind of do all this stuff. And they want to do these Xbox originals and things out of the Xbox Entertainment Studios to hold you over between major game releases.
And see, and that's another thing that they're trying to do, like this, they want to be an HBO or something so that you would buy their system so you can watch this content. I just don't see that happening.
By the way, they are going to be bringing to the Xbox originals the Halo television series. Every Street United, which is an unscripted, so reality show, series of 8 30-minute episodes and a 1-hour finale. It's soccer players. Bonnaroo, which is the Music and Arts Festival. They're doing something with that. And then Signal to Noise, Atari Game Over. These are a film documentary series, and Atari Game Over is about the whole stuff in the ground. And then something called Humans, which is produced with UK broadcaster Channel 4. And it's going to be an hour-long 8-episode series. So they're going to start cranking these out. By the way, they say that everything is fair game for these TV shows. Talking at a press event in San Francisco, the vice president of Xbox Entertainment Studios, Jordan Levin, said that games like Forza Motorsport, Fable, Gears of War, not off the table when it comes to making TV shows.
I thought you meant when you said everything's fair game. I was like, okay, so it's gonna have Halo porn and Forza porn.
No, if they really wanted to make money, isn't Forza kind of car porn already?
Well, there are a lot of exhaust pipes you can do things with.
What?
Gas tanks.
What?
I'm just giving them ideas.
You have issues
for free. Dang it!
You have issues. So, are you guys going to be turning to your TV to watch? Are you turning to your Xbox to watch your TV shows pretty soon?
Let me go get an Xbox. Oh, wait, no, I don't care for an Xbox.
I think they're coming to 360 as well.
I don't have a 360.
Oh, you got rid of it?
Long time ago. I don't care about Xbox.
We have too.
Am I going to my Xbox to watch TV shows? Maybe if my Boxy dies, and then I'll watch Netflix on it. But I don't think it's just like that Halo movie, the Forward on the Dawn and stuff. It just they're like, oh, Halo movie, and it's like, but it looks like a sci-fi original movie.
I'd be curious about this. I want to see the documentaries. Gaming documentaries might be really interesting, especially this Atari one, even though, I gave my thoughts last week about what's the big
when it leaks out to YouTube or whatever,
See, but you're just talking about piracy. I mean, that's... I could do that with the TV shows today, too, but that's not how you're supposed to do it, Logie. But I have a 360. I can hook it up to the TV and watch the Atari documentary. I'm sure they'll all be on Windows 8, too, because they're trying to get people to buy Windows 8. So...
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on with some more news. Shane, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, since I just said how big a fan of Microsoft I am, let's talk about how they are committed to making more interactive program. You can't accurately finger quote when you're on the radio. Interactive programming in the same vein as 1 versus 100, like they did on the Xbox 360. What's her name? This is ads. Nancy Tellem, the president of Entertainment and Digital Media, said that there is now infrastructure there on I think it was just Xbox One, right?
Every time I hear her name, I think of Soulja Boy.
What?
Why?
Because it's like, I think wasn't one of his songs like "You Tell 'Em" or something like that, or
Oh my God!
I don't know. Please
be seated, Shane.
Anyway, I guess the infrastructure there for the One and the 360, it's there, so they know now how to accurately make these style games. They're looking into not remaking 1 versus 100, but a game in the similar vein that you can, get a lot of people together and have fun. Never got to play it. I don't know how much fun it was. I hear it was great.
I loved it. That was the best thing that ever happened on the 360. And when they got rid of it, I was so pissed. I would buy if they said 1 versus 100 is, and I know they're saying not that specifically, but if they said for whatever reason 1 versus 100 is coming out to the Xbox One and it's going to be out on such and such date, and here are the screenshots there, I would go out and buy an Xbox One. I love the game that much, and that would push me over the edge because there's already things on Xbox One. I'm kind of like, oh, I do kind of want the Titanfall and the Killer Instinct and all. Yeah, I'm kind of on the edge, and I know there's the stuff coming, but I'm not ready to put down the credit card just yet. But if 1 versus 100 was coming out, I would.
Didn't they have like a poker game that came out that flopped?
I don't think it flopped.
Well,
it flopped with me.
No, wait. It flopped in terms of the same sort of buzz that 1 versus 100.
No, yeah, it does not. I think it has its fans. I know there are people that play it, but
there's also fans of Ni no Kuni. That's not saying much.
Stop it. But I don't think it's necessarily as huge as 1 versus 100 was. I love the idea of game shows, but I don't know what other game shows could they do. But then again, when we first heard about 1 versus 100, it was like, what are they going to do?
It's going to be a lot of miming stuff. So they have like Wheel of Fortune, so you have to like spin the wheel, or Price is Right, and you go like this, like you're spinning the big wheel.
Price is Right would legit be a lot of fun, actually. That would be a good
Family
one.
Feud.
That could be one. Survey says.
Press your luck, you just go like this.
However many people said the answer.
Don't they have like a live version of You Don't Know Jack?
Yeah, a long time ago they had with Paul Rubens. It was okay.
Just go back to the old. I always fucking bring this up on the show whenever we talk about 1 versus 100. But this was the highlight in PC gaming for me was when Berkeley Systems was around doing stuff like Acrophobia.
Acrophobia, I used to play the crap out of that.
They just put Acrophobia on Xbox One. I would be happy.
I don't think I'd play it now.
I'd play it now, especially if you could still have the After Dark rooms. Where every acronym was just like fuck, cunt, cock. Like it's just every dirty word acronym you could think of. I miss the After Dark rooms. And they had other games too. Like there was the one where you went up and down the tower, and
I don't know that one.
Yeah, there was other stuff too. So there's ideas out there. Just jack all the old Berkeley Systems games. They can do it. All right. Anyway. Let's move on. Loki, what do you have? Let's go to another company.
All right. So, Nintendo. Of course, they're not doing, the kind of stage presentation like they did a couple years ago. They're going to be doing a live stream press event or a Nintendo Direct type thing. That's scheduled, I guess, to air on, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern on June 10th. And the Nintendo Treehouse will be, conducting that. And they're also going to have live stream unscripted game demos from their E3 booth that during the show as well.
And I hope to hell they're using multiple providers and not just Ustream. Because that was the worst part of E3 last year was Ustream's Nintendo Direct was awful.
Thought I did... Didn't they have YouTube as well?
I think they did later.
Later?
Yeah, YouTube, and then I think now they're using Twitch, which Twitch can handle that crap, so they need to just use Twitch.
YouTube, I think they also do live streaming YouTube at the same time. Well, here's an idea. Let's check the press release because it might say if they're going to be doing Twitch or whatever. No,
it might be too early for those specifics.
They did say though one of the things that was kind of in a little teaser video is that they're going to be doing this Super Smash Brothers thing at Best Buy. Remember, like last year, you could test out stuff from Best Buy, play different games and things for the Wii U. Well, now they're going to be doing that with Smash Brothers U or Smash Brothers for the Wii U at certain Best Buys, so you can check that out as well. And they go along with that, they're going to be hosting a tournament at E3 for Smash Brothers. So,
I wonder how much of the final roster we'll get for Smash Brothers by E3 because the 3DS one comes out this summer, whenever that time period really is. So the rosters are supposed to be the same. So
I would imagine the final roster is out at E3. If the game is coming out in the summer, final roster at E3 with maybe one or two surprises.
Probably not hidden characters if there are any.
Yeah. So, I think that's what to expect at E3, I think. Interesting they're putting so much focus on Smash Brothers, though, but
that's their big game.
That's their big game. Mario Kart 8 is out at that point, so.
I'm wondering if Zelda's not coming out this year.
Because of the lack of
because
focus
the
so
fact
far?
that they pushed Smash Brothers to fall I'm wondering if
That's
that was
winter,
originally
they said.
winter.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they were expecting Smash Brothers to be released in the summer and have Zelda for quarter four, and then
I don't think Zelda was ever going to be this year.
Or do you think maybe because those are two separate genres that they might not really care? Because
they could still release both because they did that with Wind Waker and the new
new Mario.
I think Zelda's holiday 2015, people. I think you guys are being way too optimistic about how fast they're going to crank that out. Zelda's holiday 2015.
Depends
Oh,
on how
I'm
long
sure
they've
they'll put
been
out
working on
Bayonetta
it.
too. That'll
Well, I was going to say that's the other big thing they've been talking about
that's
for a
not
while.
going to sell systems. I'm sorry, it's just not.
It won't.
It's not going to.
I love the game. But I would not buy a Wii U for that game.
But will you buy the game if you already have a Wii U?
No.
Well, I bet a lot of people disagree with you and will. I'll buy it. And I think Nintendo needs to not just sell systems, they need to be able to sell games. And especially a game that wasn't necessarily made in-house by Nintendo. I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean,
Well, they also have their
yes-ish, no-ish,
Dynasty Warriors Zelda game too. That's supposed to be coming out at some point. Probably that'd probably be summer as well. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so invitational tournament that's going to run from June 10th through the 12th during E3. So yeah.
All right, well, we mentioned there that before E3 happens, Mario Kart 8 will be happening. And a big Nintendo Direct came out this week that talked pretty much all about what we can expect with the launch, including a $330 Wii U bundle that will come with Mario Kart 8. It will have the 32-gig black Wii U and a red Wii U wheel and a Mario Wii Remote Plus, as we mentioned a little bit about earlier in the show. Here's the part that I don't think anybody was expecting. All copies of Mario Kart 8, this is how big this game is to Nintendo, and they want to make sure it succeeds, no matter what they have to do, and this is huge. All copies of Mario Kart 8 come with a free download code for one of 4 Wii U games. If you register the game on Club Nintendo before July 31st, which anybody with an internet's going to do, you're going to get a code for a free copy of New Super Mario Bros. U, Wind Waker HD, Pikmin 3, or Wii Party U.
Here's a pro tip. Don't pick Wii Party U.
No. It's not a bad game, but like the boxed one comes with a little attachment for your controller that makes it a lot more fun to play.
Well, I think a lot of Nintendo fans I know already own the other 3. Even I already own New Super Mario Bros. U. So I'm probably going to do Wind Waker just because Pikmin doesn't... I've never really been super interested in that game. Sorry, I know some people are really into it. So I'll probably get Wind Waker. Even though, but in Europe, by the way, they have more choices. I don't know why they got more, but they did, because in Europe you can get Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Nintendo Land, Wonderful 101, Sonic Lost World, which would have been the one I would get if I could get it here, Mario and Sonic the Olympic Winter Games, and Game & Wario. All those extra ones in Europe. I don't know why.
In
not
addition
here.
to, or instead of what we...
In addition to.
Oh, wow.
It's like 10 choices in Europe.
How was Game & Wario?
It's fun. It's a really decent game, but it won't last you very long, like most WarioWare games.
Multiplayer information coming out of the Direct. 12 people can play at once. Voice chat will be available. Good job, Nintendo!
They
You
understand
did it!
online,
You did
finally.
it! Yay! You can choose from 4 modes: worldwide, regional, friends, and tournament. Does that mean voice chat is going to be in the public matches?
I could have sworn...
Hey, Nintendo!
Like, I watched
God.
that Direct. I thought the voice chat was really only for lobby stuff. I don't think it was for when you're actually racing.
It doesn't matter, even if it's just lobby.
Even oh my gosh, I really hope you can mute people. Also, some new items revealed: the Super Horn and the Crazy 8, which will whirl 8 different items that you unleash one by
That
one.
horn is awesome. It's protection against blue shells.
You're right. So that is pretty cool.
Or they could just make them as rare as they were in Mario Kart 64.
Also, last but not least, some more characters announced, and I believe this is the last of it. Baby Rosalina will be a character as well, and Pink Gold Peach. What the fuck is a Pink Gold Peach?
I've heard of rose gold. I don't think I've heard of
Pink Gold Peach. I can't help. So few people are going to understand this, but I can't help but think of that scene from Project Runway where she's like, I'm going to use this blood orange. And it cuts to the scene of the guy going, she's so pretentious. That blood orange. Shut up. It's fucking red. Like, I can't help but think of that when we talk about Pink Gold Peach, which in reality, Pink Gold Peach is like Metal Mario, but it's instead of Metal Peach, it's Pink Gold Peach. It's the heavyweight Peach.
It's just terrible is what it is. All these baby characters and all this like Metal Mario. Metal Mario is not a fucking character. It's just a palette. It's a texture swap. It's not a fucking new character. Come on. Like, branch out a little bit. Yes, I understand it's called Mario Kart, but throw in a Zelda level and have Toon Link or something like that.
I was a little pissed there's no Birdo. It looks like Birdo got cut. I'm a little pissed about
or Birdo, or like, fuck, there's a ton of different things.
I would have much rather had Birdo than fucking Blood Orange Peach.
They should have gone back and just picked random enemies like Mouser. Mouser would have been cool.
Yes. I do, but here's the thing. I do love the fact they put all the Koopa kids in there. That's pretty rad.
But it makes it hard for me to pick between Lemmy, Larry, or Toad now.
What about a Goomba?
Wendy O. Koopa all the way. What about a Goomba? Why not? They have
They have no arms. How are they supposed to drive? Because they could use their feet, but then what's pushing the gas pedal? Is it two Goombas?
Nope, it's tank style.
All I know is that like despite all this crap we're giving it, I am so there and I am so playing Wendy O. Koopa on fucking Toad's Highway the day this thing comes out, because Toad's Highway is
and thank you for mentioning Toad's Highway, because I would like to say, while Nintendo has done all this fantastic shit with, making the game look awesome and stuff, and they brought back battle mode, and what the fuck did they do to battle mode? Hey guys, we could totally take all these really kick-ass battle mode tracks that we had and made those, but no, instead we're going to take just the regular tracks. They're all fucking loops that they slightly tweaked, and that's what they are. That you play battle mode on a fucking track, because God forbid it would be so damn hard to, bring Block Fortress in or something.
I'm going to take a wait and see approach.
Block Fortress was amazing.
I'm going to take a wait and see approach. I'm not ready to get Loki levels yet.
No, it's just they don't get it. They tried the same shit with, like, what is it? I want to say it was either Double Dash or the 3DS one.
We don't talk about Double Dash. That's an awful game.
Rama in chat says, calling it now, DLC for older tracks. With all due respect, Rama, I think everybody's calling that. I mean, this is such an obvious extension of the game.
There are some tracks I would pay for.
Half the tracks in the game are older tracks, so...
But
what do you want?
That's not out of character for a Mario Kart game, besides, of course, the first one.
Yeah, it's not out of character. It is out of character, though, to completely ignore any regular battle mode track for battle mode. That makes no sense.
That's the DLC.
That's stupid. Hey, we broke this on purpose so that we can fix it with paid content. That's dumb.
They said they needed more third-party ideas on the Nintendo Wii U.
Seriously, how long would it take to model a fucking battle mode track?
Right, calm down. Mario Kart 8 is going to be the bomb, and you know it.
It would take like 2 hours tops.
Stop it.
2 hours.
Sit down.
To do all four of them.
Have a seat. All right. I also wanted to say that means 30 characters playable. Also, you can play as your Mii, which is all you're ever going to see online, probably. I just really hope they change the Mii voices, because like the voices those Miis have is scary.
Maybe they'll just have you. They should have you. They
should have you record.
No.
Only with friends.
But I fully look. I still hope, like they did with Mario Kart Wii, and I don't remember if they did with the 3DS version, but I hope that they actually have like your Mii's in the background stuff.
Love this idea from Tiger Claw, and I think even Loki has to like this one. Tiger Claw says, "What if they do DLC tracks based on other games? You remember how Sonic Lost World had levels based on some classic Nintendo games? What if Nintendo made a deal and made DLC tracks based on Sonic?" So, what if somebody got your Sonic Mega All-Stars Racing courses in my Mario Kart 8?
No.
How about a Bayonetta 2 course? Come on. Come on, Loki.
What would that be? I mean, driving up the hair,
No, you just basically drive into her vagina. Basically, that's a Bayonetta 2.
I was trying to hint at that, but, whatever. That's fine. Just go for the direct approach.
On a serious thought, what about you're driving around these mountains that are just her boobs? No, and on a serious note, what about like a Hyrule level?
You laugh at that, but actually, one time I did have a concept for a kart racing game, and that was going to be, that was going to be my level.
Battle of Areola Mountain.
It's going to be all bacon and fucking giant breasts that you just like bounce on like those like mushrooms and shit.
What was the name of the game? Bacon and Boobs?
Oh, it was Vog Kart Racing, of course. Yeah.
Did you run that by Bobby?
No, I didn't. I don't really care. But this was a long time ago. The ideas I had for that.
All right. Now, what about like a Hyrule level? Like that would be rad.
What did I just say a second ago? Yeah, it'd be awesome if they had a Zelda level and Toon Link as a character. But apparently that was neither here or there.
All right. Moving on, Shane. We got to keep it moving. We're like at an hour 20, and we're not even halfway through the show.
Okay, well, there are some Mega Man games headed to Virtual Console thanks to the votes of fans. Capcom posted a poll asking when you want to see select Mega Man games show up on the Virtual Console. That poll is over.
How'd Mega Man Legends 3 do?
It got first place.
I'm glad that Capcom's listening to user feedback now, but back when we wanted a new Mega Man game, well, fuck you guys. We know better, so that's awesome. Thanks, Capcom.
Sorry, Shane.
That's okay. Anyway, so the votes are in. Capcom has announced the schedule for release on the week of May 1st, which I guess has already happened. Mega Man Extreme will be available. The following week, 5/8, both Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3 will be available. Week of the 15th, Mega Man 4. Week of the 22nd, Mega Man 5. And then the week of the 29th, Mega Man Extreme 2. Now, these are for, I believe, the 3DS Virtual Console?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because they're all the Game Boy versions.
Yep.
The end.
Hitstun in chat says, the games were all coming anyway. That vote meant nothing.
Yeah, it was just all it was
seems...
the order that you wanted them in.
Yeah.
Which it looks pretty much like numerical order is what we went with.
Apparently. So there you go. Oh, my gosh. Some people in chat, Cial in chat says, Capcom needs to lose that IP. I don't think they're letting go of it that easy. All right. Well, let's travel around the world and look at some games that are coming out a little sooner than Mega Man Legends 3. Loki, U.S.
Yes. Well, this week there's a few things coming out, starting off with Bound by Flame, which is actually coming out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and on PS4. Sorry, Xbox One, you don't get that game. It looks pretty cool, though. The PlayStation 4 version of MLB 14, the show, will be making it out this week as well. Today, actually, we had a couple 3DS games. There was the Mario Golf World Tour, so that came out on 3DS, and Kirby Triple Deluxe. Let's see what else was coming out later this week here. We also have... There's so much stuff's moved dates. Hakuoki Stories of the Shinsu Gumi on PlayStation 3, if you like your visual novel games. For the Vita, God of War Collection, that's coming out on the Vita. And then also the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which kind of got delayed a little bit. That's coming out on Xbox One. And this is pretty sweet. Borderlands 2 going to be coming out later this week. Actually, that might be next week, 13th. Is that like a Friday?
13th is a Tuesday.
Oh, it's a Tuesday. I'm sorry. That's the following week. It was originally supposed to come out this week, but so. Anyways, that's it.
All right. Well, moving to Japanese release dates, there is nothing on the schedule for this week. Literally nothing. This probably has to do with Golden Week going on right now in Japan, so there is nothing.
Oh, sales I need to take advantage of still on PlayStation Network.
There are the sales and stuff over, and some other little tie-ins like that, but as far as official releases go, nothing this week in Japan. How about the UK?
The UK has a few games. Starting with May 7th, you get Peggle 2 on Xbox 360, Titan Attacks on PS4, Vita, and PS3. On May 8th, Age of Mythologies Extended Edition for PC, and the God of War Collection on Vita. May 9th brings Bound by Flame for PS3, PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox 360. And then last on here, and I don't think this is right anymore, but Killer is Dead on PC. Didn't that get pushed back by a couple weeks, I believe, everywhere?
Yeah, I want to see. I just saw something today.
I think it's my birthday.
23rd,
I think, on the 23rd. So Killer is Dead on my birthday.
All right, well, maybe you can get Killer is Dead.
No, I don't even know what that is. I don't want it.
Killer is Dead is the... I can't remember the guy's name. It's the guy that does Killer 7 and No More Heroes and stuff like that.
Oh.
It was there. They came out on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, I think, about a year ago. Oh, well, last August, I want to say.
Kaijudo in chat says Japan has stopped making games. No, that's not what happened. I will say this: May 15th, it's going to pick up again, and I'll tell you what. Guess what's coming out on May 15th? A new Idolmaster game in Japan. So those are huge.
Yeah, we should be getting a new not Idolmaster, but
Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, later this year.
Hatsune Miku is opening for Lady Gaga. Did we talk about that on the show? That is some crazy shit. Lady Gaga is having Hatsune Miku. Yes, the video game. Well, it's more than a video game character in Japan, but like with holograms and shit, is actually opening for the art pop, whatever they're calling it, in select cities. I don't think on this coast, but like on the East Coast, Hatsune Miku is opening for Lady Gaga.
I'd feel like that would be this coast, not the East Coast.
You would think, right? But
you would think that she could just call herself Gem and she could have the hologram.
All right, just a couple more news stories for you guys, and then the classic game of the week, which look out, guys, because Shane's filling in for Jamie tonight. Guess who I picked the classic game of the week? But I'm going to tell you what, Loki, I already know, is going to love this pick. So let's get to those other...
I will tell my first pick before we go with that.
Okay, well, let's get these other stories out of the way real quick.
This was actually kind of a surprise. I mean, I knew that they were teasing that they're going to have Marvel superheroes as part of the new Disney Infinity, but I just figured, hey, it's going to be another, pack or something like that. It's not necessarily going to be the whole game, but guess what? Disney Infinity 2.0, Marvel superheroes, is going to be announced, or it was announced, and it is full of Marvel superheroes. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty sweet. Launching with the game, they said, is going to be Iron Man, Thor, and Black Widow. But along with that, Hulk, Captain America, and Hawkeye will also be launching alongside it. And, of course, with it, they're saying that, you can have higher levels in your characters, new skill trees. Also, the Toy Box mode is coming back, and all the old characters will be supported by it, so you will be able to play as the old characters in Toy Box mode only. They kind of showed some more... Well, they showed some other things, like they have, of course, the Avengers characters in there. They've got Spider-Man. They showed off a lot of different, the characters from Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in there, so obviously you're going to see that Toy Box come out when... maybe when the movie comes out or something. Although that's a summer movie, I want to say, so maybe not.
It's interesting to see these worlds coming together, though.
Well, we know what Disney Infinity 3.0 is then, right?
Yeah, right? With the Star Wars, absolutely.
Or maybe it's 3PO. Yeah.
Oh, God. Don't give them
You
ideas.
just wrote their entire advertising
I know,
campaign.
you should patent pending, quick.
Yeah, come on. It's not a surprise that Disney, Infinity 3.0 is going to be Star Wars stuff, so... that'll be pretty exciting too. But yeah. And characters. There's some characters that were in the trailer as well. Stitch, although that could have been a different, maybe a different playable character or not necessarily in it. Or was it Merida, Maleficent, Nick Fury? What was it?
So it's not only
Loki.
It's not only Avengers.
Yeah.
Some of the newer, the chick from Brave and the Frozen.
Yeah. Well,
she was
the Frozen characters were from the last pack that came out. That was
really?
Frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen characters are already out.
Oh wow!
But they're only in the Toy Box mode. It's kind of lame.
Brave out too? I thought Brave was out. As well.
Yeah,
the
Brave
chick from Brave.
No chick from Brave. They have what's her name from Tangled is in there.
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel. Well, I didn't know if they
Miss
changed the
Tangled?
name. From Tangled. And then they have Green Goblin, MODOK. And they showed off Rocket Raccoon and Groot, kind of mimicking the scene that they had in the trailer.
Well, I can see where Marvel nerds are going to be really happy about this. I don't know how I feel about the old characters only work in Toy Box mode.
Let's put it this way. I think what the problem was before is with Disney Infinity, it kind of skewed too young maybe. And so now that they've got all this Marvel stuff, they're trying to capitalize on what's the prime market for Skylanders? Young boys. So, And honestly, I think they've got a stronger license because people that are just getting into it, who the fuck are the Skylanders? I know who the Avengers are. I don't know who the fuck the Skylanders are. So I think
Skylanders is getting more and more, because keep in mind, they've been around for a few years now. So I think it's getting more and more out there.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, Marvel's been around a lot longer than the Skylanders, so I think that they stand a little bit, better of a chance doing well with it. But it'll be interesting to see. It's supposed to be coming out in September, so.
All right.
And on this also, they're going to be current gen last gen and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well.
So you can step up to the PlayStation 4 with this cycle.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to one other story here, and we're about to get into the Classic Game of the Week, so it's appropriate that I talk about some free classic games that are available, and they're actually coming from Blizzard. That's right, the makers of World of Warcraft. Now, you may or may not know, over at Battle.net, if you have an account over there, you can download Blackthorn for free. That's one of their old games from the Super Nintendo days. That's been out for a while. Well, Blizzard decided to add a little more to that by putting out some of the other classic Blizzard games. I think this goes all the way back to when they were a different named company. The Lost Vikings, which there's actually some Lost Vikings jokes in World of Warcraft. You actually see them in one of the dungeons. So the Lost Vikings, you can actually now play that for free via Battle.net. You can go download it, and it's completely legal and all that stuff. You play it through Battle.net. It's pretty cool. Also available, Rock and Roll Racing, although they say that Rock and Roll Racing might actually be just the demo because there's only 3 songs available in Rock and Roll Racing. There's some issues with the licensing.
Oh, that's bad. That game was awesome.
Yeah, because Rock and Roll Racing had all these like actual rock and roll songs, but they fear that the licensing may have kind of screwed that up because they say the reports are that if you download the game, it's really only the 3 tracks from the
Put new
demo.
music in there.
Yeah, you would think, or something. But yeah, unfortunately, so Rock and Roll Racing is hobbled a little bit, but you still can get that for free. And Lost Vikings, those again are available at Battle.net. Pretty cool way to convince people to go get a Battle.net account. To register participation for this week's episode of Orange Lounge Radio at vognetwork.com, use the passphrase SQUASH. All right, well, speaking of classic games, it's time to take a journey to the past. As we open up the gaming vault and step in and find a game that we think, hey, you should check out this classic game this week. Now, usually Dark Sakura dives into the vault and finds a game for y'all. But with Shane filling in tonight, we thought, all right, let's let our guest have the honor of selecting the classic game of the week. So I told Shane the rules. I said it's got to be what were the rules that Jamie set?
You said it was 10
years or older. That's what she said because she wanted to do Kingdom Hearts at one point, I think. So it has to be 10 years or older. So Shane, you stepped into the vault, and what game did you find for us
Well,
tonight?
first I found Power Rangers the movie, the game. And I was like, I love that game. I should talk about that. But then I had a much more better idea to pick, and I picked Final Fantasy XI. So, this game is amazing. Final Fantasy XI meets this criteria because it came out actually on PC in America in 2003. So, we are well past that. Final Fantasy XI is Square's online entry, their first online entry into the Final Fantasy for the Final Fantasy series.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, this music brings back so many memories for me. I remember when this game came out, I was living with, because the show was on, I was living with Loki. I stayed home from work the day this came out to install.
I requested that day off from work to get the game and play it.
I remember I was the first one on the server, and I had to get everybody else. You kept deleting and re-rolling until you got it.
Yeah, we had to get a world pass.
I got world passes for everybody. Like, I had to go out and kill 1,000,000 sprouts or whatever to go get the stupid passes. All right, I'm going to actually switch to some gameplay noises here from the theme song. That theme song takes me back, so I had to do that. Anyway.
Yeah. So this is a standard MMO RPG. You fight things, you get experience, you level up. The game, which launched in Japan a little bit before we got it, launched with 6 jobs. And then when the game came out in America, we not only got the original game, but we also got the first expansion, which added, oh my God, so many more jobs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 8. What? All the advanced jobs except for, the game did launch with the advanced jobs of Paladin, Dark Knight, Beastmaster, Ranger, Bard, and Summoner. The expansion, which was the base game for us, also gave us Samurai, Ninja, Dragoon, and that's it. The game had, 1, 2, 3, 4 main expansions. It's still going strong. Had an expansion last year, the Seekers of Adulin, which added 2 more jobs, bringing it to a total of, I believe, 24 jobs. The president of Square at the time...
Oh my God, this video is of the Rama fight. Sorry.
Anyway.
I just got excited. These primal fights were so hard. Oh my God.
Well, we only did them as the solo ones. You can get a full party to do them as well, but we always did the babier versions where it's just you and Carbuncle. In 2012, Yoichi Wada announced that Final Fantasy XI had become the most profitable title in the Final Fantasy series, probably because of all the monthly fees and the cost for extra characters and stuff like that. Yeah, this game has an amazing story. Spans across, the 4 expansions, the little mini scenario expansions they put out as well.
I couldn't tell you anything about that story either.
Oh, it's really good. I've gone on the wiki and just read the story at times. The game has changed so much from when it launched to what it is now. Used to be everything required a party. Nowadays, everything does not require a party. In fact, a party is a hindrance up until the very end of the game, which is level 99, and you can increase your character's skills and stats beyond level 99 too through various means. It's awesome.
Yeah, these guys are just duoing the fight that used to take 6 people.
You can probably duo it now. I recently went back and played this game like 2 months ago to see what all was different, and it's still really fun. I got to level 65 or something like that. I was fully AF'd as a dancer.
I played this game for fucking 3 years.
I never got anywhere.
I got to level like 56.
Yeah.
Did I play that last January or was it this January where I think it was last January where I bought, everything. It was everything up to the last, the very last piece of DLC, the expansion for it, and it was like, it must have been like $8. I was like, dude, how can I not play this for another month?
This was also the game that introduced the hard drive to the PS2 that used, or that was used for so many games like Resident Evil Outbreak and Resident Evil Outbreak 2. I think that was probably it.
EverQuest.
EverQuest. Yeah, EverQuest as well, which is another online game. But yeah, this game still goes strong. The servers are a little bit more dead than they used to be, but you can...
Well, because of Final Fantasy 14, a lot of the online Final Fantasy people moved over into that game. But 11
is what you would think, but the people I was playing with were like, we went to 14, we didn't like it, we came back to 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love 14. I don't need to look back to 11 myself.
I do, because it has so many amazing jobs, like
It
Blue
does.
Mage and Dancer,
Corsair,
Geomancer, Rune Fencer, Puppet Master.
All right. Well, there it is, your classic game of the week, Final Fantasy 11.
It's constantly on sale on Steam if you ever want to just pick it up for a little bit, for a month.
For the PC and the PlayStation 2, although...
God,
and Xbox 360.
I wish it would go
and
free to
360.
play. Free to play. Free to play. Come on, free to play.
Never.
Loki's trying. I still get the emails, newsletters, like, come check out what you're missing.
Well, another good thing is that they update the game monthly now. So there's always a content patch of some sort every month, whether it be job adjustments or quality of life changes. It's pretty nice.
Square's pouring a lot into their MMOs, which is interesting that they won't release Dragon Quest X here. Don't get me started.
I don't care
I'm about
about
to get
that.
started.
It's fine.
All right. All right. A classic near and dear to my heart. Many years of my life wasted on Final Fantasy Fantasy 11, and soon to be 14, and Loki as well, and Shane.
Yep.
But I would say, actually, Shane and I probably became better friends because of Final Fantasy 11. I mean, we knew each other through LiveJournal and stuff, but we really talked every day through Final Fantasy 11.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Because MMOs are chat rooms with pretty graphics.
Pretty much. All right. Well, there it is, your classic game of the week, Final Fantasy 11. Let us take a break. When we come back, we've got the Foogle Question of the week, rapid fire news to come, some shifting and so forth going on at some game companies, and email bag at participate@orangeloungeradio.com. A follow-up to last week's email. Did we tell our listener what game they were looking for? We're going to find out. And they wrote back this week to tell us if we found the game or not. So we will get that follow-up coming up next on Orange Lounge Radio after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to Orange Lounge Radio, live on this May the 4th of 2014 with episode 551 of our show. And yes, if you're just joining us live at the Voice of Geeks Network, VogNetwork.com, yes, we got the May the 4th jokes long out of the way. I'm sure your Facebook feed already blew up with them earlier today. So there you go. Done. As far as Star Wars and video games goes, if we must talk about that a little bit. We kind of already talked during the last segment about Disney Infinity.
Yeah, 3.0 is most likely going to be Star Wars.
Bank on it for Disney Infinity 3.0. Otherwise, anybody played a Star Wars game recently?
No.
They don't make them like Super Star Wars.
Star Wars is a crappy IP anyway.
Oh, be quiet. That's not true.
I don't like
You're
Star
too
Wars.
harsh. You're too harsh.
I don't like them. The movies are crap. But the Old
The
Republic...
new ones are.
Well, all of them that I've seen, which are 4, 5, and 6. I haven't seen 1, 2,
You're
and 3.
wrong. They're not that bad.
But the Old Republic keeps doing stuff, so
Yeah,
that's
they do.
still going. There's a Star Wars
do.
game.
Yoda and Darth Vader were cool in Soul Calibur 4. By the way, if you listen to my little rant last week on Soul Calibur Lost Swords, I tried again this week. I booted because I think there was even a comment on VOG or something.
But I
that
saw
was like,
that they fixed it. There was an article on a blog site that said they fixed everything.
Nope, it's getting deleted tonight. I tried. I went in one more time. I brought up the thing and still loading. And then
Wait, I want to see it before you delete it.
I got to the well. Here's the thing. I get to the menu screen. Can't move up or down. Can't hit the button. Just can't do anything. So I said, I'm out. I didn't even get into the full game. I said, I'm done with this garbage. But I tried. All right. Tiger Claw says, you think Shane is going to hate Star Wars Episode 7? Yes, I do. He will hate
Most
Star Wars.
likely.
Most likely. Black Wolf.
Unless the series gets a decent story and not terrible acting. Which I don't have high hopes for.
Bobby Blackwolf says, Shane hates everything.com. Yep, that would be accurate.
That's not true. Just things that are awful.
He loves Power Rangers, Pokemon, and Skylanders in the color blue. That's it.
and
Final Fantasy
Taco
11.
Bell and Del Taco.
All right. Anyhow, let's get into some rapid fire news because there is a lot of other stuff going on in gaming. Loki.
Yes. So finally, after months of wondering, where's Drive Club? Isn't that supposed to be out by now? They have made it official that Drive Club will be out October 7th in North America, October 8th in Europe. And, of course, they had planned for the game to come out early 2014, but they ran into a problem being able to deliver on their ambitious ambitious promise. And apparently the whole issue with it was that they wanted it to be a socially connected game, and they were having trouble with, I guess, the social networking part of that.
Wait, their ambitious promise, is that the promise of releasing a game? Is that the ambitious promise?
That is ambitious. Well, ambitious as far as like how socially connected. It says we need to make sure that all the connectivity that surrounds the game, whether it be joining clubs or sending challenges or even interacting with iOS and Android Drive Club apps, that had to be slick. And that had to be absolutely seamless, and that was one of the areas that we need to put extra time into. All the things we were able to polish, the cars, the tracks, and stuff were fantastic beyond, or just a fantastic byproduct. Part of me is wondering that maybe the reason why they delayed it a little bit was because of all these launch issues that they've had, with games like Soul Calibur and stuff, where their servers were just fucked up, and they were worried that if they weren't able to talk to each other, that you may have some issues and stuff. Also, they were saying, what we originally had was something that was not necessarily as smooth or transitions, or the way it connected you or other players weren't as intuitive as we intended them to be. So we had to go back and re-look at those areas and kind of look at different ways and new techniques to get people socially connect, or to get people to socially connect. And we changed that with a new dynamic menu system. So we really feel like we've solved all those problems and created a racing game which we socially charged. Also, you may be wondering, well, are we still going to be getting Drive Club for free as part of PlayStation Plus? Well, yes, that is still going to happen. It's actually going to be taking place in one country with 5 tracks and 10 cars. And so that's going to be the free portion of the game. And you'll be able to, buy stuff a la carte if you want on top of that, or just, the whole version of the game. So it's pretty neat. And then, of course, people getting pissed off that, it's 1080p and only 30 frames per second, not 60. So there's that whole debate, but who gives a shit about that?
I'm glad they're still doing the PlayStation Plus free-ish mode for people.
Definitely. And then I'm a little disappointed about this. You may remember Adam Sandler, their studio, whatever, purchased the rights for Pixels, which was a kind of a short that came out, a digital short that was on YouTube, where it was a bunch of this blob of pixels flying through the air, and then all of a sudden oh look, Donkey Kong's there throwing barrels at people and all sorts of pandemonium, and the Tetris blocks are destroying buildings, and everything kind of went all pixely. Well, now there's a little bit more information regarding this that's supposed to be coming to theaters May 15th, 2015. It's, of course, going to have Adam Sandler and all those crew. Peter Dinklage is going to be in it as well. And apparently the plot, this is really weird, the plot centers around, I guess, aliens who discover video footage of classic arcade games. And apparently after seeing that, the aliens believe that Earth is trying to wage war with them. And, apparently the aliens invade Earth using the games they've seen as templates for their attack. Of course, they're going to have some people that are, arcade aficionados that are going to take them on and defeat the aliens and save the day. But it sounds really weird. Like, originally it was like, oh, these, kind of like classic arcade characters are kind of waging war against everybody. And then to this really strange plot line. I don't know. I think it's just going to sound kind of cheesy. But whatever. That's coming out next year. So
part of that sounded like The Last Starfighter almost. It's just Adam Sandler. He's like poison for anything nowadays. Back in the day, Adam Sandler movie, oh, hell yeah, I got to watch it because it's going to be hilarious. Now, just not so much. So, we'll have to wait and see. Also this week, they announced the brand new Call of Duty game it's going to be coming out in November, called Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And it takes place in the year 2059. And following, I guess, a bunch of different private military contractors. One I know, which is Atlas, and I don't know if they're supposed to be the good guys or the bad guys, but I know that Kevin Spacey is going to be in the game as well. He has a character that he's voicing, and his, I guess appearance kind of based off of. Apparently, he has like some sort of, I don't know if he's going to be like the good guy or if he's trying to take over the United States or something. But anyways, stuff happens, the Golden Gate Bridge gets destroyed at one point, and it's got a lot of the tech that you see in like some of these kind of near sci-fi movies, like Elysium, or what was that new one with Tom Cruise coming out, kind of like the exoskeleton suits and all sorts of that kind of tech, like the wearable armor type things. And hover bikes. So that's kind of cool. So we're going to get our hover cars in the next, 30 or so years. But yeah, that'll be coming out in November.
Great. A bunch of information on Call of Duty I didn't know about.
Yeah, that's completely new information.
Great. All right, let's move on. Talking about a game that I do know something about because I've played it before. I just haven't played it on the Wii U, but it's Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. There is a patch that will be hitting the Wii U version. Apparently, in off-TV mode, some of the in-game sound or music wouldn't come through to the Wii U gamepad. Oops. So that will be a patch that will hit. So if you want to check out Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, which is a pretty solid platformer, I got to say. I've been playing it on PC, but if I didn't have a nice PC, I think the Wii U would be a great place to check that out. So you can, check that out, especially after that patch goes in. This is interesting. This game came out a while ago, the Mortal Kombat HD Arcade Collection. I had no idea this was a thing, but thanks to some forum posts this week, some screenshots leaked of what was supposed to be a full HD remake of the Mortal Kombat collection, meaning new characters. I'm sorry, same characters, but new grabs. Like the sprites were all new. It was new actors dressed up in the costumes.
That would be hilarious.
Right? And they actually have lots of screen. Like, and you might go, oh, it's fake. It's just some people posed in. You look at it and no, like, Liu Kang, come over.
I gotta come look
over
at
here.
this.
Look, like Liu Kang and Katana, completely different people, and you see that they're grabbed in HD. Kind of neat, huh? But then they actually show some pictures behind the scenes of these actors on a green screen in the costumes, like they were ready to. Yeah, right. They had the Mortal Kombat 3 Katana and the 2 and all that stuff, and then I think I'm imagining that's Sonya in one of these pictures, which I know makes for great radio. But yeah, it's just a new actors. As the Stryker's kind of chubby, isn't he? That's all right. I mean, there's not a problem with that, but it's just
No, he just looks derpy, and it's so sad because the newest Mortal Kombat game made Stryker almost cool, and now they're just like, no, we're going to take that away from him.
So I don't know what they changed. Yeah, they canceled this and just did it with the regular actors instead. Maybe it was too much of a shock. Maybe on playing it with new people, they were just like, no, this doesn't, like, this defeats the purpose. People are going to hate this. No, I imagine somewhere in testing this fell out that, like, people were going to reject it. I kind of think, though, they should have done it anyway with both. Why not have the new and the old? Let people choose what they want to play as.
I think the new ones, for the most part, except for maybe Stryker and Kano, look pretty decent. They should have kept it.
So it's really weird that they would spend all that money and then, no, never mind. Psych. Speaking of, never mind, psych, we had a story last week, I think, on the show about Silent Hill Origins and Shattered Memories coming to the PlayStation Vita. Oh, no, that was a mistake. The Konami blog that announced this apparently was some type of either a mistranslation or just plain wrong, because now it's 2 Silent Hill titles headed to the PlayStation Network. Even though Konami of the UK tweeted that they're coming to the Vita, oops, they made a follow-up tweet. Regretfully, the games aren't available on PlayStation Vita, we're afraid. If this changes, however, we'll let you know. Well, you can download them for the PSP on PlayStation Network, and I'm thinking that's where the error came from, is that somewhere they said, oh, we need to run an announcement that it's coming to the PlayStation Portable, and somebody said, oh, that means the Vita. Totally forgot about the PSP, like a lot of people did.
Well, don't the PSP games play on the Vita, though?
Most
do.
So
I don't know
entirely untrue.
I don't know if this, I guess not, but yeah, they're not. I think people had it in their minds that it was new ports or something, and that is not appearing to be the case.
No.
So there you go. Oh well. I don't think. I mean, last week when we talked about it, people didn't seem to be too excited about the idea. Anyway, actually, it was the week that Flacco was here, so it was 2 weeks ago. But anyway, it turned out to be psych. Just kidding. Shane, you have some stuff for us.
Yeah, DuckTales Remastered. The soundtrack, if you enjoyed it from the recent release, is now available on the Amazon MP3 store, iTunes, and Spotify. You can get the 47 track. I didn't realize there were that many songs in it. You can get the 47 track album for $9.49 on Amazon.
Because they have the retro stuff on there too. So it's the original and the retro.
Okay.
That's what fills it up.
And it's somehow $11.99 on iTunes. I don't know why. That's kind of really dumb. Also, Gran Turismo 5, they're pulling the plug on its online services. So they are holding a special event to commemorate it. It will consist of 2 stages, with the first having a focus on the Mazda Roadster touring car of 11, I guess. And then the other one is the is the Nissan GTR N24. I don't know how to pronounce these car names. Scholes Motorsports 11. I don't know, whatever. Participating in the event will give
It's
players...
all right, Shane. It's like me reading Japanese release dates.
Oh, I could do that way better than I could read car things.
Not during Golden Week.
What?
Not during Golden Week.
Well, I could do that better, too. I wouldn't say anything also. But better. Just playing in these events will give players 5 free vehicles in Gran Turismo 6 if they use the same PSN ID as they did from Gran Turismo 5. You will also earn the a Barth Grande Punto 09.
Wasn't Barth the name of the burger chain, and you can't do that on television?
This is a Barth.
Oh, an A
But
Barth.
yes, you're right. It was Barth's Burgers, I think. The Renault Sport RS Trophy 11. The Nissan Fairlady Z08.
Why don't you just say a bunch of car stuff?
Cars. You'll get cars. Does it really matter?
And you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
It's just some stupid car for Gran Turismo. You get 5 stupid cars for Gran Turismo 6. There. In lighter news, Bob Hoskins died. At age 71. That means no Mario 2 for anyone.
Oh, man.
Never coming now.
It's all right. You know what? They can just recast him with Danny DeVito. It's almost the same, right?
I guess. Bob Hoskins didn't care for the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, God. I hope not.
Well, nobody did. Well, apparently John Leguizamo put out a tweet about the whole thing, and I think even responded to somebody that said, like, well, didn't you guys hate the Mario movie? And he kind of said something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's grown on them over the years. Like, probably the fan response and the fact that people care about it now probably has grown on at least John Leguizamo.
It kind of sucks. I mean, imagine, like, you're John Leguizamo back, kind of almost like a no-name actor at that point, and they're like, hey, we're going to... Okay, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But he's a little bit more known now. I mean...
He's more known now.
He was
in Moulin Rouge.
He was also in Kick-Ass 2, by the way. And they're like, hey, we're making a movie based on Super Mario Brothers. You want to be in it? And it's like, fuck yeah. Well, he probably wasn't like that. He probably had the audition for it. But, hey, we're making a movie.
His agent was probably like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's like, seriously. Probably the same thing happened when Double Dragon had a movie, too. And we know how that turned out. So, it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate.
And now we'll never know if a sequel really could have happened because they left it wide open at the end.
Or no sequel. Tiger Claw says no sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit either.
Yeah, that movie scared the
wasn't
crap
the
out
end of the Super Mario Brothers movie? Wasn't that kind of like the same premise that they could basically do in the end of the new or the beginning of the new Tron movie? Where they invade Earth or whatever. Is that
but in the Mario movie, it was like, was it Daisy that was in there? She just shows up at the end and she's like, guys, we got trouble. Or something stupid like that, and they're like, okay.
Marty, it's your kids!
She had like plunger guns or something. I don't remember. That movie was so awful.
Rama in chat says, in heaven right now, there's 2 Marios and a Luigi chasing Bowser Koopa around. Yeah, because Dennis Hopper's passed away.
I didn't know that.
Both actors. You didn't know that? Yeah, Dennis Hopper died a few years ago. It was while he was on that TV show, Crash, that they made out of the movie. And then, Captain Lou Albano, who played Mario on the TV show, passed away, and the guy who played Luigi, Danny Wells, passed away. So, John Leguizamo, better watch out. Not to be crass, but better watch out.
Maybe we can get the Pest 2.
No? My favorite Bob Hoskins role will always be Smee in Hook.
My favorite will always be Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
There you go.
I don't have a favorite.
I didn't like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, actually. I know that's sacrilege. But
actually, that's my favorite Christopher Lloyd role, but, whatever.
Oh, yeah, he was actually really good.
My favorite Christopher Lloyd role, not even Back to the Future, Professor Plum and Clue. Obviously, my favorite movie ever. Anyway. All right, but Christopher Lloyd's still alive, just for the record.
And I got to be honest.
Until next week when there's another
I got to be
story.
honest, I'm absolutely surprised he's still alive because he looks older than dirt right now. I mean,
stop. You guys are so...
don't get me wrong. I hope he lives forever, but he looks old.
He can with a DeLorean.
No, he can't, but he looks fucking old. But that's why if we're going to get another Back to the Future movie or something, they better hurry up on that shit. I mean, because he's not getting any younger.
If they don't do a reboot. Isn't that what they do now? It's a reboot.
Oh, fuck that.
All right.
What happened to reboot the movie? I thought that was coming at some point.
What happened to reboot the show? They really fucked that one up.
Yeah.
That was cool for like the first season, and then it's like, we're going to add all these characters in there. And now it's something weird.
Fifth Dream says the only ones surviving are Princess and Toad. That's suspicious.
I don't even remember Toad in that movie.
I don't either. But all right, let's move on. Let's get to the Foogle Question of the week. You take Facebook, you take Google, as in Google Plus, you slam those together and you get Foogle. And so that's why we go to our fan communities every week and ask a question of our listeners, and we read some of our favorite answers here on air. Maybe I'll read them all tonight. We're going to see. I'm going to see how many answers we have. I'm going to start on Google Plus with the question, which is about the whole Disney Infinity, Skylanders, because I knew we'd be talking about these games that come with figures tonight because of the Marvel news and the fact that Shane made me play Skylanders.
I will point out that when you actually played it, you asked me to go get it. Like, I've been saying, we need to play this, and then out of the blue, you're like, okay, let's play this. I didn't even have to.
I was ready to do the live stream. I was like, if we're going to do this, let's do it. All right. Anyhow, so here it is. The question we asked you guys. Now that it's been a few years for Skylanders and a year for Disney Infinity, it looks like these games are here to stay. How do you feel about these games involving sold separately figures? Do you really enjoy the games and collecting the figures, or do you think these are cheap cash grabs that aren't worth your time? We just kind of want to know generally what do the listeners think of these games. Redtertainment on Google Plus says, I haven't given these games much thought, but I'm not a kid and I don't have any children of my own. Sure, I could buy these video game or toy combinations for my nieces, but my sister's family has enough problems keeping themselves in government-subsidized housing. Does anyone else remember Captain Power? I do. Act Deft says, I still think these type of games are really big cash grabs right now, but they're good ones, at least for the most part. A lot of people, both children and adults, like both Skylanders and Disney Infinity, collect the figurines and play the games. The only one that got close to getting me to buy figurines was Pokemon Rumble U, but I heard the game was crap and didn't do it. I'm still kind of tempted by them, though.
It was crap. Don't do it.
All right, and going over to Facebook. I can probably read most of these. I might make some of them a little shorter, though. Andy R. says, in a way, it doesn't seem all that different than DLC to me. Only your DLC nets you a collectible you can put on a shelf. DLC is its own love it or hate it gaming trend, but getting physical collectibles with it is all upside, I'd say. I've never been into Skylanders or Disney Infinity, but as someone who collects and plays Magic, I can understand why people may get addicted to it. The only problem I have with that is that DLC tends to be, not always, but tends to be more robust. Like when I think about Mass Effect 3 story DLC, great, whole bunch of stuff I'm getting for my 10 or 15 bucks. But then I think about horse armor in Oblivion, not great, right? So the reason why I bring that up is that when you get through these doors and things, it's not that much. It's like one room that has a hat in it, one puzzle to do. It's not like a whole bunch.
And technically, for the case of Skylanders, really, you buy the starter pack because that's what they're forcing you to do every single time now. You get characters there. You don't need to buy anybody else. You can beat the entire game. You can beat the game just with that. Everything else would be optional.
Right.
That is horse armor. There you go. That's all it is.
All right, fair enough. Haseo Sumurugawa responds and says, I can't. I just can't. Renee, our friend from the podcast, Killer Queens from Outer Space, says, it's a great way to keep a game in players' minds by offering expansions to keep replayability high, but it's just not my bag. Gamer Girl says, on one hand, I think it's good for the collector in mind, but on the other hand, I think it's a waste of money for parents whose kids lose interest rather quickly. Blood Drunk says, it's a giant cash grab gimmick to get children hooked and make the parents buy figurines for the game, in my book at least. Critical Myth responds and says, my son is a massive Skylanders fan, and even though he's beat each of the 3 games many times over, there's still plenty of those damn figurines sitting unused. Their idea is neat, but there has to be a better way to implement it to make it less of a cash grab. Cial responds and says, if Nintendo ever does this with Pokemon, they'll become a leading world economy. Well, again, they started to do it, but they did it half-assed.
Failed.
They did it really
miserably.
half-assed. I'm not huge on this method myself, but I might collect some if they have cool figures from something I enjoy. Shay C. replied and agreed with the first answer I read from Andy R. It's essentially DLC and should be held to the same standard. It can be fine, but if you're shipping a full-price game where, say, half or more of the content is gated, the boss is behind a door, you need a fire guide to open, buy additional figures, that crosses the line. As long as the amount of gameplay provided for all combinations of purchases is in line with the cost, I've got no real problem with it.
If we're going to be fair, this is all on this DLC, by the way.
Yeah. In my book, it isn't. Well, I did think it was cool. I will say this. I did think it was really cool that those figures save data in them through the little chips, because I had never played the game on my PlayStation 4 before, but when Shane put the little bird figure, it's like, this is level 10 and you have all these abilities on it.
So is your Wii Remote, but no one gives a shit about that.
Yeah, well, so I thought it was a neat use of that technology. I will say that for what it's worth. But I just want to say about the DLC question, since Shane already answered it, you can beat the game with just what it comes with. In my opinion, those figures are not worth it just for the DLC in the game. You really have to like it. You have to like the figure, like that it lights up or whatever, and you get a little bit of an enhancement, a little bit of an incentive. In the
you
game.
could eat a pizza that's just cheese, but really you want pepperoni.
For some people,
and that's going to cost you
That's
extra.
how it's going to be. For some people, that's how it's going to be. Okay, 2 more answers left. I hope I don't mispronounce this. It's either Philippe or Felipe. So sorry about that. Felipe A replies and says, when I was a kid, my parents bought me a lot of cheap toys from the store that I would end up playing for maybe 2 to 3 hours and forget about them. I equate Skylanders and all other figures to those. They are cheap distractions that keep kids entertained for a couple hours. I got my parents to use their money to give me a couple hours entertainment back then. At least now they can use it in a game to a couple more extra. Not for me, since I'm in my 20s, but I'm not the addressable market for them either. Shane might disagree with you there.
I think once you start putting like age restrictions on stuff, you get kind of ridiculous. Like you could say the same thing about any video game.
Can we talk about your Power Rangers toy?
Yeah, I don't care. Talk about my Power Rangers. You want me to go get it? I'll play it over the stupid thing.
After I'm done, yes, go get your Power Rangers toy. But
I'll
wait.
get all 3.
Okay.
You didn't know I brought 3.
Oh God. Okay, what is this thing? It's like a train, because that's not even the series we have here. It's a train thing in Japan, right?
Yes.
And it makes choo-choo noises.
Yes.
And you paid $60 for it.
Yes. It's their Morpher in the new Japanese series. I love it. It's amazing.
You know what though? Everybody has their thing, right?
Yeah.
And other people, like I do this Rocky Horror thing, and you always look at me going, "You are wasting all of your time, Rob, doing that."
You tell me to tell you that too, though. So,
but
to remind you.
There's all that going on. But then you spend $60 on a Power Rangers toy, and
and I'm fine with it.
People spend money on whatever makes them happy.
Yes.
So.
Now you can keep reading. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I only have one more answer, so you better hurry. And it's from, and again, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, so I apologize, but it's Amano Jaco, I think is how I say that. Amano Jaco says, the idea of Skylanders is a fun concept with a variety of figures to choose from, so you can play the way you want. The only drawback is the fact that some Skylanders giant figures can't be used in Swap Force and vice versa. For the money people put in the game, they should be able to use them as they see fit. All right, I agree with that. Bobby Blackwolf in our chat room says, I'd be more interested in Disney Infinity because of recognizable characters. I wouldn't mind having a Tron action figure that also works in a video game, but no, they didn't release any Tron figures for Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
I'm a little bitter about that.
Yeah, I agree. They did have some Tron things in the toy box, but no Tron figure, unfortunately. Best you could do is they have these little like citizens or whatever, little like toy things running around. You can dress them up like Tron. That's about it.
Whoopee. So, answering the questions for ourselves here real quick. Loki, all the sass and anger stuff aside, how do you really feel about these games?
I tried Disney Infinity, and it was too young of a demographic.
Yeah,
for me,
you bought it and sold it on eBay, right?
It was it wasn't. It's cool. Like the figurines are pretty neat. I kind of wish that you could do something with them, like that they actually were figurines they could pull off the base and do stuff with. But as far as collecting them goes, they're not bad. They're kind of cool looking. I just think though it is pretty obvious in both games of how much of a cash grab they are. And yeah, I know that people compare it to DLC, but dude, there's 60 pieces of DLC if you want to call it that. 60 pieces plus.
Well, plus
that are like $10 each.
You don't really have to buy, like as Shane said earlier. You need one of each element or one of each power. You don't need all.
You
60.
don't have to, but then why offer 60 pieces? Because they want you to buy all of them, and there will be people that will buy all.
And
of
some
them.
of the figures are kind of neat, like they light up and shit. Remember? Anyhow,
yeah, and those cost an extra $5.
Here's my thing. After finally getting my hands on Skylanders this week, it's not as bad of a game as I thought it would be. Like the game itself, I was expecting to be a lot worse and a lot more in your face of a cash grab.
It's pretty sweet, but wouldn't it be just the same game if you just played it and you unlock characters via progression or whatever, finding them?
Yeah,
that would be, I don't know, like a game that they released years ago, but now they're like, hey, we can make an extra $600 off of that. Fuck you.
I can hear you on that.
And you know what? And there's going to be stuff when like the Tron figures come out eventually for Disney Infinity. It's like, that's really cool, but nope.
All right, got to move on with the show, but quickly, Shane's back with his toys. Remember, it's a radio show, so help explain it for us a little bit, what you brought back.
First of all, I couldn't find one of my toys, but I have the original Dragon Zord dagger from like 1990-something here, and it still works. I haven't ever changed the batteries. I don't know how it works. But this other thing is, I don't know, you put a train in, and it makes train noises. Hold on,
what do trains have to do with Power Rangers?
That's just the theme this time, is their train theme.
Okay. So he's putting this little train in the...
Oops.
It looks like a rocket launcher or something that has.
Well, no, these are like the crossing signal things. Anyway,
Okay.
so like you want to morph, so you hit this. Has train noises, and you
Wow.
put the train in. You push the gates down. And because of the way the train is molded at the bottom, it hits certain sensors, and it knows which train you put in there. So it knows that this is the Red Ranger's train. So it tells me that.
And Thomas has gotten really weird in the last.
The look on Loki's face right now is priceless. He spent $60 on that. Loki.
I was over at Flacco Jones's house, and I showed his kid this series, and he would not quit watching it. So watch out.
And Flacco Jones isn't going to be inviting you back anytime soon.
You know what though? Like I respect the fact that they can do that straight face throughout the whole thing. You know, even though it's kind of ridiculous. But I do want to see like some really. I want them to kind of take that and run with it. Like maybe next year they can do household appliances. You know, like
Well,
Toaster Ranger. You know,
mow the lawn ranger. Yeah.
it's Japan. They do crazy things. Like last time was dinosaurs, but the other half of that was samba dancing, and they had guns that they would spin and would make music, and they had to dance to it to morph. This is pretty awesome.
You know what?
That's the next one we get here. I'm excited.
Sayal in chat says you're not alone, Shane. Because Sayal in chat says Shane Alinko, I need that in my life.
Yes, I see that.
Live.vognetwork.com. All right, let us move on with more show. We've got more news to get into and your emails to get to as well. Loki.
I mean, I don't know if they did. I've watched the like Transformers / Thomas thing that they did.
I've never
on YouTube. It's
never seen
hilarious,
that.
and they have that. So maybe the Power Rangers thing wouldn't be so bad. Anyways, okay. So this is kind of I don't know. It's kind of disappointing if you're a fan of like maybe Tony Hawk and stuff, but Neversoft, company that used to do some pretty awesome games, Tony Hawk included. They are now being rolled into Infinity Ward, or what is now Infinity Ward. And because I think Neversoft actually did some Call of Duty work before. I want to say that they worked on either certain versions of the game or DLC or something like that, a portion of the game. Well, now, I guess, they worked with them for Call of Duty Ghosts. So now they're actually going to be part of Infinity Ward, and Neversoft is no more. So,
But it's did I hear no layoffs?
The name is no more.
Name is no more.
Yeah.
Didn't they make the Guitar Hero 3 and after and all that too?
I want to say that they did. Yeah.
Well, moving on, this is involving layoffs. This is Future is going through some restructuring and redundancies or layoffs. Future, they don't make games, but they make some gaming commentary, some magazines, things like OXM, PC Gamer, CVG, and Edge. So some of these magazines and websites, they're going through global restructuring. This means layoffs, and according to CEO, no part of the business will be unaffected. They also say that Future will no longer, this is not from the CEO, but from Media Week, Future will no longer be structured around content types like technology, but instead a single content and marketing team will produce all content. Basically, the whole move to digital, they say, diluted focus and distracted the talent. So, interesting. All these brands range from cars to tech, music, sports, and so on. It sounds like they're probably going to combine similar things and try to push out similar content in both paper and digital forms or something along those lines. Kind of where it sounds like this is going. It doesn't totally surprise me. In this day and age we live in, it's so much easier for people to make homegrown media content. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
So, that's just the reality of the industry. But still, no fun to hear
And
about
not get
layoffs.
paid for it.
Well, for us, yeah. But, we do it for free. So it makes it that much harder for the people. And I'm not just saying we, but I mean, there's tons of websites and tons of even homegrown mags and video shows and so forth. It makes it that much harder for the people that do want to get money to do it. But, that's the reality. So, but, layoffs are never fun to talk about. So, best of luck to those folks that are affected. Hope you can find another job in the industry that you enjoy. Shane.
Oh, sorry, I was chatting.
Now the chat room wants to talk Power Rangers.
Yeah,
You're all
I'll
in
talk
it, right?
Power Rangers for days. So From Software, makers of games like Otogi, because that's really the only one I remembered. But I guess They also do like Dark Souls
Or Armored Core.
or Armored Core. Or Armored Core.
Ench-
But Otogi. Otogi was
Enchanted Arms, like the first
Oh
RPG
god, that was
on 360.
awful. That was such a bad game.
Yeah, that was From Software. I
Did
remember
From
that.
Software also do, or did they have a part in, what was it, Chrome Hounds? Or was that just
I
some own?
think that was mostly Sega. I think.
Mostly
I
Sega?
could be wrong.
But they have published recently.
They've done a
Killer's
lot
Dead.
more. They've done a lot more than what Shane's leading on.
But mostly Otogi still, because that was a really good game. But they also published Killer's Dead and Lollipop Chainsaw in Japan. They have been acquired by Kadokawa Corporation, which is a corporation that publishes manga like I guess Gundam and Neon Genesis Evangelion. So
Bobby says From did do Chrome Hounds. You're right, and I'm wrong. Anyhow, sorry, Shane.
no, that's really it. They were acquired by a manga publishing company.
Interesting combination.
I hope they make Otogi 3.
Crossing your fingers and your toes. All right.
Just my fingers. I don't want that much.
All right, Loki.
All right. Let's see. So this is kind of cool. One of the games I want to say, I think this was GameSpy. Yeah, it was GameSpy. So one of the games that was affected by GameSpy was a PC version of Halo Combat Evolved. And, you know, the Halo franchise has some rabid fans when it comes to multiplayer. You may remember Halo 2 multiplayer on Xbox. There's a ton of people that stayed in after, you know, they kind of closed off the matchmaking servers and stuff, and they stayed in as long as they could, and they kind of drug it out. Well, thanks to a third-party matchmaking online gaming company called Game Ranger, the multiplayer service is actually going to still be continuing. And, you know, they're going to be taking over, I guess, handling the multiplayer for that game. So, and also, I guess, the demo and the custom edition of that. So that's pretty sweet. On top of that, there's also gonna, and this is good news for me because I'm a fan of, you know, a lot of the Rockstar games. But Grand Theft Auto 4 and Red Dead, Red Dead Redemption? The multiplayer for that is actually being Rockstar is going to make sure that keeps continuing, at least for those two games. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, and Beta Raider, though, are going to have their multiplayer shut off, although I can't imagine a lot of people play multiplayer for Chinatown Wars. I didn't even realize I had multiplayer. And of course, you know, Grand Theft Auto 5 is not affected because that was never through GameSpy in the first place. Max Payne 3 also not being affected by that. They were saying, though, that... I'm sorry. Mac users of Max Payne 3 are not going to be able to play multiplayer anymore. PC, though, you're okay. Red Dead Redemption, though, no problems there. And then the PS3 version of Grand Theft Auto 4 is losing its leaderboards as well. So... I don't know. That's I'm glad to see that some of these companies are stepping in to make sure their games don't go dark as far as multiplayer is concerned. So that's pretty cool.
All righty. Let us go into the mailbag. We're going to open up the mailbag and read some of our emails. Participate at orangelaunchradio.com, the place to send those emails. And every week, Dark Sakura suits up and dives into the email bag and picks some emails to read. However, she's not here. She has the night off, so I will borrow the hazmat suit and dive on in and pick out some emails to read for y'all. We are going to start with this email from D. D does not want to have their full name read. And so
Can we just make up a name then? Can it be...
Sure, make up a name. But what if the name you make up, like, and you don't know because you can't see the email, you're sitting over there. What if it happens to be the same name? It's
Okay,
gonna be
well
awkward.
then, I don't think it will be. It'll be, this person's name is Duck Sauce.
Duck Sauce.
Duck Sauce.
This person's name is not Duck Sauce.
But
so
now
good
it
job.
is because they didn't want their full
All right.
name read.
All right, so Duck Sauce emailed us. And Duck Sauce has some insider info for us. Let's get to it. Hi, been listening to you guys forever. Since Spanish is my first language and you guys have been hard in grammar, I didn't want to email you guys before. Aw. Well,
It's
luckily...
now El Duck Sauce.
That's all you have to say. It's like, you know, English isn't your first language, and we're going to take it easy. And you're like, oh, your grammar is terrible.
Yeah, luckily you got me, and my grammar's terrible,
And I don't
too.
really care. I don't give a shit about grammar.
And B, even if Jamie had been here, and I would have been like, look, Jamie, he speaks 2 languages, and until you can speak 2 languages fluently, you're going to cut him a break. So please don't ever be afraid to email us just because English isn't your first language. Jamie will give you a break because, she expects if you're going to speak 1 language, speak it well. But if you're going to speak more than 1, then you get a little room for error. So don't worry about it. El Duck Sauce? Is that what we're calling him now?
Yes, El Duck Sauce.
El Duck Sauce. Okay. Act Def says that would be El Pato Sauce.
But that doesn't have a D in it.
All right. Anyway. However, I am too excited to not tell anyone about this. I am currently a beta tester for PlayStation Now. I wanted to hear your opinions. Please keep my name private so I don't get in trouble for opening my big mouth. You've got it? El Duck Sauce. All right. I finally received the code to get into the private beta of PlayStation Now. I want to know your opinions about the service. Do you think it's going to be a great service? What are the problems you see with this service? What do you want this service to be when all is said and done? Do you think it can be a type of future for gaming? That's a lot of questions, El Duck Sauce, but I will try to kind of summarize my thoughts on it. I think it's a very exciting and creative way to get the PlayStation games backwards compatible. I am not too excited at the prospect of paying for games again. I really wish that if I had a PlayStation 3 disc, I could just enable that in my library. I realize why that's probably not going to be possible. Even if the digital games carry over, I'll be mostly happy about that, so I'm hoping. I'm a little worried about the technology. Sometimes with streaming games, it's not always perfect. The delay concerns me quite a bit, but I commend them for trying, and I'm open to it. And again, I'm really curious to see how much they charge for some of these games, because it's very interesting what El Duck Sauce breaks down here. Black Wolf says, I want to hear El Duck Sauce's opinion because he's actually used it. And Black Wolf says it's hard to answer these questions without having used the service. So let's get into. Actually, you're lucky, Bobby, because El Duck Sauce actually answers these questions. My experience so far is as follows. I'm using a PlayStation 3 and a wireless connection. The beta only has about 20 games, and so far in the beta, I believe it's a good selection. They have good games like Saints Row 3, Luminous Supernova, Puppeteer, Blaze Blue, Disgaea, Catherine Knights, Grid, Fuel, and Skullgirls. As you can see, they have a good selection or choices for anyone. For now, all the games are free. When you select,
I was going to say, those are all the PlayStation Plus games for the most part.
Not Luminous. I would have.
Well, some of these are, though. Some of these are not. Maybe those are upcoming free titles.
Could be. All right. When you select a game, you need to pick how many days you want to rent this game. You have 3 options: 1 day, 7, or 30 days. I will assume that these prices will eventually show up after beta. The game themselves ran great. I do have to admit that I never had a problem with the actual gameplay, sounds, or frame rate. However, I did have trouble with the video quality. There's this weird YouTube dream effect going on. I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you watch a YouTube HD video on your iPhone and the quality drops to 720 or lower for a couple seconds. This happens sometimes on PlayStation 3 games that I was streaming. At first, it was super distracting, but eventually you got used to the video dip. When I plugged in the connection, this problem was resolved. My second concern is that I am worried about online gaming with this program. I haven't tried that part yet, but I love fighting games, and I can't truly see anyone playing fighting games online with some service like this. I'm really impressed by this technology. I know that there was something like this before. I think it was called OnLive. I feel that this could become like a Netflix meets Redbox, and specifically if you mix it with PlayStation Network Plus. No need to ask for demos. Just pay 99 cents and rent the game for a day. Maybe a program like this will also discourage game companies to make short games. Like a game like the most recent Metal Gear. I would have rented it for a day or week instead of buying a disc version. I know there will be problems like internet connections, licensing fees, and other things that Sony can't control. I truly wish this is part of the future for gaming. I know I only tested it for 2 days so far, but I'm loving it. I know we all want to know what the future for gaming is, but this could be something that Sony can release quietly and catch on really good once we all give it a chance. Sorry for the long email. Just wanted to hear your opinions and give mine. Keep up the great podcast. Love you guys. El Duck Sauce. There it is. So thank you for the email. And actually, your English is very good. I did correct some of your tense as I was reading it. That's really the only thing I see is that sometimes you have to put the D at the end of the word because it's in the past. But otherwise, you did a great job. And considering I can speak no Spanish, really, although that won't stop me from trying to watch Telemundo because that shit's great. I'm very impressed. And please do email us in the future. What'd you guys think about what he had to say about PlayStation Now?
I just have to make, as long as it works then and the pricing's right, because I mean, honestly, with some of these older games and stuff, why am I going to rent it if I can buy a used copy of it for just about the same price? You know, like, hell, fuck, I just bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for $5. I'm not going to rent it.
Is this why GameStop might think they're in trouble, though? Like, they're thinking the opposite you're thinking? That
No.
people will want to rent because it's so convenient?
No, because that's why rental stores are around. I mean, you can rent games if you want to, usually. I mean, depending on your area, I guess. And those are kind of gone by the wayside anyways. And they have games in Redbox, so you can get, like, for example, Metal Gear Solid, or Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes. You probably could have rented that for, like, $2 or whatever. And that's available to you, but it's just whether you want to do it or not.
Shane, what are your thoughts on PlayStation Now?
Well, as someone who may or may not have played it, I may or may not agree with what he said, especially the parts about it not being laggy or responsive. Like, say, for example, hypothetical, playing Lumines. If I were in the beta, I may have problems or may have had problems playing Lumines because of the responsiveness of the controller, or that stupid music game shooter thing where you play backwards and it's all based on the rhythm.
Retrograde, which I liked.
No. I'm saying based on a PlayStation Now experience that I may or may not have had. That was ridiculously hard because of that, or would have been if I was playing it. But I think otherwise, I agree with what he said.
I worry about that delay between input, and because it makes music games hell. It makes a lot of action games or anything, especially a very demanding platformer, that you have to time your jumps like perfectly and shit. Like, NES Remix, which I know isn't a PlayStation game, but hear me out. Like that would be murder on that. So they really need to tighten that up.
It's murder on any game. Like, maybe in the past when they had Guacamelee up to play, and if I had been playing it, just normal jumps would have been awful to get to various parts in that game, making me turn off the system.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the email from El Duck Sauce. So please, and who has a new nickname thanks to Shane. You never had one before, but you do
I
now.
can nickname everybody that you have for the mailbag. So
okay,
let's go with the next one.
We'll get to it. Hold on, because in the chat, Tiger Claw asks, Sky, you tried watching Sábado Gigante? Yes, I have. That shit is amazing. It's like a game show, variety show. Like, that's the type of stuff that used to be on the TV in the golden age here in America, and is that you don't see it anymore. But they're still doing that stuff on Sábado Gigante, which ActDeft corrects is on Univision, not Telemundo. Yes, it's the other big Spanish network. So there you go. Yes, I do enjoy watching Sábado Gigante. I have no idea what they're saying, but some of the sketches are still hilarious, and I can pick up enough words. Like if I'm watching a telenovela, and one chick calls another a perra, like I know what they're saying. No. All right. Moving on, we have another email this one is from Martin from Belgium. Martin from Belgium. He's emailed us before.
I thought I was giving a nickname.
Well, that's the name. What should but there's no nickname. Martin is, I think, their real name. Like, Martin, but Belgium. What, are you going to give a nickname or not? Not now? You're protesting?
I'm protesting. I was
Why?
going to give it before we...
Okay, well, assume I didn't say his name.
It's too late. You can't do that. Because now I'm like, oh, his nickname will be Martin.
All right. Dear Sky, Dark Soccer, and Loki, I wanted to email you this week since you were kind enough to remember on last week's show that you have listeners in Belgium. I got your back. I remember. Why are you laughing?
I just took that as a dig at you.
Yeah, because I usually forget a lot of things. I really do. Congratulations on your 550th episode. That's an impressive number. Now on to 666. I listened to the show on my commute to work, a welcome distraction. I've been playing FTL, Faster Than Light, this week. My God, is it addictive. Again, they just released a free expansion pack adding new ships, weapons, and events, which made the game interesting again since I got burned out on it last time. Is it the kind of game that incites... It is the kind of game that incites comments such as, crap, it is that time already? I just played FTL for 5 hours and it felt like 5 minutes. It seems to make time move around you faster than light. That came with a winky face. This is an apology for that pun. Definitely recommend it. Also wanted to share something gaming hardware related. I just got a new Retina MacBook Pro recently, which is pretty good hardware for gaming, an NVIDIA 750M, but tends to get very hot due to the thin form factor. I came up with a cooling solution for when I'm using it at my desk for gaming. I prop up the MacBook on a giant heatsink and have a 120 millimeter fan blowing cool air through it. The heat at the bottom of the aluminum case is conducted through the heatsink and blown away. I attached a picture. This lowers the system temperature significantly while gaming. Anyway, keep up the great show so I have something to do on my commute to work. Greetings from Belgium, the land of beer and waffles.
Just one 120 millimeter fan?
You forgot fries, by the way. I went to a place in New York City once that was nothing but Belgian fries and dips. It was so fucking
I went to
good.
a place that was just all fries this weekend. It's called Potato Corner. And they have 6 types of fries, and they're all different flavored.
Where is this at? This sounds amazing.
Palladio. It's in the food court.
Oh, I'm going to check that out.
It's new.
I don't know what that is. All right. There's a PS, by the way, before I get to the picture. PS, I'm on my way to go paintballing right now, which I also recommend. It's like a real-life video game and also good exercise. Well, that's something Loki used to do, the paintballing.
I did airsoft.
Paintball's
Paintball's a little bit more honest because you can actually see when you hit somebody and can't say, I didn't get hit. What are you talking about?
And here's the picture of the heatsink and the fan against the laptop. That seems to be pretty... I bet if Loki had did that when he was doing Titanfall, his laptop would not have melted.
Yeah, I did not have my heatsink or fan when I was playing Titanfall because I was at work, and I don't bring it with me because it's fucking huge and also requires an external 12-volt power supply in order to run those fans. And I actually don't use those fans anymore because my new laptop's pretty cool. I just have to, use that tray because it still gets warm on the bottom, just not to the point where, it's going to break. Damn you, Asus. But I still buy you.
All right. Now, on to our last email tonight, which is a follow-up to an email we got last week, which, Shane, you let me know during the break you don't listen to OLR, so you didn't hear of this email.
I was asleep.
All right. Well, last week, we had an email from Dr. Noir, who emailed us from Lima, Peru, and said they could not remember the name of a game. It was an 8 or 16-bit game where you place... So here's the description of the game for you, Shane, because you asked. So here it is. Shane, you got to guess. You ready? It's an 8 or 16-bit game where you place mythical creatures, I remember unicorns and dragons, on a hex board to do battle against monsters on a turn-based strategy system. The creatures level up after they acquire kills. The name and platform for the game is what I'm after, and a source would be appreciated since I want to play it with my kids. Shane, can you name that game?
No. What is crappy RTS on the Genesis or Super Nintendo?
And he wagered $1.
No, I put everything. It was like 30 million.
All right. Well, somebody last week got it right. Dr. Noir's emailing us again. Hi, OL Army. Greetings from Buenos Aires, Argentina. He's moving around. He explains why in the email. Thanks for the answer. Master of Monsters it is. I played the Genesis version.
Oh, I got some of that right.
Yeah, Genesis or Super Nintendo?
Yeah, but it could have been 8-bit.
Oh, my
so
God.
I was still half right.
So there it is, Master of Monsters it is. And somebody in chat had yelled that out last week, and I think Seg gave him a free game for getting it. So thank you, chatters. You saved the date. That's why I love doing this live show. And I fully admit, sometimes I don't know it when we're talking about video games. And Loki don't know it. And Jamie doesn't know it. And Shane sure don't know it.
Sorry, I don't know all the obscure RTSs back from the 8-bit days.
But we had the chat room to save the day, and it was Master of Monsters was the game. And he goes on to say, Sky, sorry for the headache. Oh, it wasn't really your question that was causing the headache. I had a lot going on during the show last week. There was a lot going on. Everything's better now. And Dr. Noir wants to clarify, I'm Mexican, but I travel a lot for my sales job. Listen to you soon. We'll say hello to everybody in Argentina if you haven't already left. So there it is. Dungeon Buster taking a bow and a victory lap in our chat room for remembering Master of Monsters. And all of our listeners as well can finally go, finally. And it's funny because my buddy Jonko from Koopa Club actually left a comment on the Orange Lounge radio page. It was like, what if like somebody just made something up that didn't exist and sent it to your email bag? Like I was like, I kind of thought that's what happened. Like, not that I thought Dr. Noir would lie. I certainly wouldn't think he would lie. But you know how, like, memory can change details sometimes? Like, you think it was one thing, but it was...
I know. There was seriously one of those fucking Metroid energy tanks in one spot. And I wrote it down on, like... Because back in the day, I used to have, like, a place I'd write down, where stuff was. And it wasn't fucking there any other time I went back there. And I know it was there because I got it one time. And it was never there again. Damn anomalies.
Well, Dungeon Buster did not go away unrewarded. He does clarify in chat. Seg gave away a copy of Dominique Pamplemousse, which Seg was here on the show promoting about a month or so ago, which is available on Steam. Check it out. If you like kind of artsy games that are kind of click adventures, that are musicals, check that out. Dominique Pamplemousse. And thanks, Seg, for giving that out. Black Wolf says Master of Monsters for Classic Game of the Week. I was trying to pressure Jamie into doing that tonight, actually, but then she ended up not being here, and I was like, all right, well, Shane doesn't always get to pick, so I'll let him pick.
And I would not have agreed with that. Like, this crappy RTS came out in some stupid time.
Stop it. All right. Anyhow, moving on. That is that. That's it for the mailbag. So we're going to get to the FUs of the week. Thank you guys very much for emailing us. Participate at orangelaungeradio.com is the place where you can send us emails. If you want to try and stump the hosts or ask Shane for an answer, then he'll just go, well, it's maybe black or white or kind of in between. It might be anything, actually.
No, I gave an answer. It was pretty... Like, the only thing I was wrong on, or, not sure of, was the Genesis or Super Nintendo part. But it was stupid RTS with unicorns or whatever.
All right. Let's move on and get into the FUs of the week. Rawr.
Oh, this is bad. Here is justice. Here is punishment. This is fucked up.
Loki, why don't you start us off tonight since Jamie's not here?
I guess FU to, or future FU to, I'm going to be having to make actual levels for my game. And I was thinking about it today. I'm like, out of all the things I'm going to have to do for this, that's going to be the hardest. So, as fun as it will be making stuff, that's not going to be fun to actually do because you have to, find a nice balance between detail and optimization, which with voxels be a little difficult. That's it.
All right, Shane, do you have an FU of the week?
I sure don't.
All right. I'm going to take one that I think you wish you would have thought of. My FU of the week goes to PG&E.
Man, it was fun.
Who banged on my door at 9 o'clock this morning that were like, we're here to shut off the gas because you don't have an account through us. And I'm like, because you remember, we just moved into this house about 6 weeks ago at this point, and I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, yes, we do. I called in to get it arranged. I logged into the website and gave this lady my account number, and she was like dumbstruck, like awestruck, like, how could this happen? How
what
could
is
I
this
be wrong?
internet that you've talked about?
I know. Well, she even admitted, she's like, I'm an older lady. I don't know anything about this internet. But when she realized I wasn't like that, I had the receipts. I'm like, here's the receipts, lady. Here they are.
The fuck you shutting shit off?
I know. She backed off a lot. She became very apologetic. She's like, something's going on. Let me take that down.
Well, yeah, it's like, God damn it. Someone of us fucked up again.
I know. Well, first off, Shane was like, how do you even know that was real? And maybe I don't. Like, it could have been a fake truck or something, but...
Well, she was just so crazy in her knocking and doorbell ringing.
They didn't ask for my social security or anything, so I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, I was like, that was a little weird.
I think cops knock on like criminals' doors nicer because this is what she did. Okay, etiquette dictates that you ring the doorbell, you wait a couple moments, no answer, you knock politely, you wait a couple moments, you may repeat these steps again. She was knock, 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 doorbell, 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 knock, knock, doorbell, doorbell, like just instant.
So she was my wife. Because that's what my wife does whenever she goes to her parents' house and they're like, yep, it's Nelly.
It's 9 a.m. on a Sunday. and I have a rock and roll lifestyle. Yes, I am still asleep. What? And Alan,
And you're waking up, you're like,
obviously, I made Alan get up.
damn it, Jehovah's Witness.
I know. I'm poking Alan. I get it. Alan, get the door. So Alan gets up and gets it, and is like, the lawn better be on fucking fire or something. So yeah, and that's what it was. So. F you to PG&E for getting me up early on a Sunday morning. And then I was up.
You should complain. That
I did what people do in the year 2014, and I sent a passive-aggressive tweet. That's what I did.
I would have called them up and complained because then you would be
too.
like, listen, they woke me up. You said that I didn't have an account, and you were threatening to shut off my stuff. I had to show you this information that's available in your system. Maybe it would have knocked off some money on your bill.
We'll see what happens. I'm going to see if I get a response on Monday, because then if I don't get a response, then that's 2 strikes. They knocked on my door and didn't acknowledge my passive-aggressive tweet. Come on, check what year it is. I needed to get somebody that knew how to use a computer. That was my problem. All right.
Computer? What?
What is computer?
There's no computer in this house. It's too small.
How do you internet? All right.
Which room do you have dedicated to said computer?
Couple more news stories for you guys. Then we're going to get to you guys at 1-877-GAME-OLR.
Where does the reel-to-reel tape go?
Or our username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, all one word. Let's get to a couple more stories. Loki.
All right. So talking about like really strange accusations. ZeniMax, they're claiming that IPs were thefted.
See, to El Duckface, verbs
Duck
and tense.
sauce.
Oh, sorry, El Duck Sauce. I couldn't remember the name.
I did that on purpose. Okay, that was purposefully mispronounced.
All right, fine.
Because it was funny.
Tense is hard.
It's for humor. Okay, so yes, basically they claim that when John Carmack left, he took some proprietary VR information, and now they're pissed off and they think that money should be owed. Little do they realize that Oculus was around before he left for Oculus, so I don't understand that part of it, but whatever. Basically, saying ZeniMax, confirms that they sent a formal notice regarding its legal rights to Oculus concerning its ownership of key technology used by Oculus to develop and market the Oculus Rift. I just don't buy that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe John Carmack was working on some VR stuff separate to the Oculus Rift, but I don't think that it's not like he left, formed the Oculus Rift, and then that all happened. It was he came and joined them after they already kind of had a prototype and everything, so I don't really understand what the point is. I'm guessing that they just want a piece of that $2 billion, maybe?
Maybe. Now that Facebook's involved, the timing of it is a little suspicious.
Yeah, and of course, John Carmack has, responded saying, "No work I have ever done has been patented. He says ZeniMax owns the code that I wrote, but they don't own VR."
Ouch. Bobby told a very, as I'm nice in promoting Bobby, even though he keeps telling me tonight I'm wrong and Loki's right. But Bobby told a very interesting story tonight on his show, Bobby Blackwell's show, that about getting hired for tech companies, because he's been job hunting lately. And, some of the things that they expect that they're going to own of you if you go for this company. And like, if you write any code, even if you're not on the clock, but you're with the company, they potentially own it. So, I'll let him tell the story. You can go listen to his show for the full details. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting how legally that all works when you're on somebody's payroll like that. So that's what they're trying to make the case.
Trying to say that someone possibly owns the rights to Flappy Vogue.
If Bobby did not put a clause in his contract or whatever that's like VOG is a pre-existing thing and you can't touch it, basically, if he didn't do that, which I think, if I remember, I'm probably going to be wrong again, but I believe if I listened to his show correctly, one of the people he was talking to and getting employed at was like, we will own everything, basically. And he said no, because he didn't want them owning VOG. But he got another employer that was like, willing to write out, things that they like. Who's interested in VOG? The types of companies he was working for shouldn't have an interest in VOG. It's not like not the same industry or whatever.
Interesting. What the hell?
I mean, they should be interested.
We're just not worth it to you guys.
But not
You know,
interested
we've
in
only been
owning
on the internet forever, but whatever. I guess we're just not good at.
That's
We're not an IGN or Kotaku. We don't run,
Loki, you can't get a fucking NeoGAF account, okay? And we've been doing this for 12
I don't
years.
even fucking care anymore about
doesn't-
NeoGAF. It's just like, seriously.
It doesn't mean shit, unfortunately. It's
Like,
just
if I have
the
to read
reality.
another forum thread about, I bought a Wii U today. What game should I buy? Right? It's like, seriously, that is worthy of a thread. That person deserved an account, that was worth it. Fuck it. I don't give a shit anymore.
Well, speaking of things that have been on the internet forever and forever, yet a lot of people don't seem to care, Twin Galaxies made an announcement this week.
I thought they were gone.
Oh, hold on. Let me sip my tea.
I thought they were gone, though. Didn't they, go under or something? I thought that was
they're
the whole
back.
thing. Oh, okay.
I think they have a new owner or something. But Twin Galaxies has announced that there's a 24/7 internet channel dubbed Twin Galaxies Live using Skype and Twitch to foster interaction between broadcasters and audience members. And there's also like a schedule of all these things so they can see what's coming up next. The COO of Twitch said in a press release that since records are constantly being set and broken in real time on Twitch, having Twin Galaxies on our platform is a perfect fit. We look forward to seeing great gaming content from the Twin Galaxies team. 24/7 internet channel, fully interactive, featuring things like Skype and video. Never heard of it.
The only thing
Never heard of it.
The only thing that I'm kind of worry about is some of those records, like especially like when they're doing like these high score records and stuff, require like 48 hours of playing. I'm not gonna fucking watch somebody play Donkey Kong for 48 hours or however long it takes. It's several hours.
Look, I don't really mean to shade Twin Galaxies because I do respect the site and what it is a lawful lot. I do. But with all due respect, I have to go here, Loki. With all due respect to our former home, All Games Radio, right? I seem to remember back in the day during All Games Interactive, somebody that he had on the show a lot was Walter Day. From where?
Twin
Galaxies. On his network of fully interactive content. I'm just an observation. I'm just interesting. That's all.
And honestly,
to be fair, there's a lot of people doing this type of thing.
I think that they have now, because remember they had the awesome games done quick type thing where they had like an event where they did that. I think they're actually continuing on with that, and that's still going. As its own channel now where you can watch people do speed runs and stuff. I hope. I mean, because that's more interesting than watching someone try to go for, the world record score in some game. Because what's to say that they're actually going to achieve that score? I mean, so all I'm doing is really just watching some person who may not even be somewhat of a celebrity, even in the gaming scene or anything, making an attempt at a high score. So basically, I'm just watching someone play a game, which is any channel on Twitch. Any channel on Twitch. And these people who's giving commentary is we're in hour 46 of the the high score challenge and blah blah blah. It's like
some people would make fun of the StarCraft and League of Legends type of commentary, so whatever.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what do you talk about at that point though? Like when it's gone on for several hours, you can't talk about the game. Well, this part of the game is really interesting. He's gonna have to not die in order to make sure that he keeps a high score. I mean, it's like. That's why they have those long videos that Twin Galaxy watches, so you don't have to watch the 48-hour attempt to get whatever it is, high score. And granted, yes, I know not every high score is going to take 48 hours, but it's still several hours usually.
You know what, though? In all seriousness, good luck to them.
Please tell me that they're going to go for the records for the quickest times finishing these games, because then they've totally ripped off the other channel.
All right. That's it. We're done. Moving to the Skype calls. 1-877-GAME-OLR. Your chance to be interactive through Skype with our stuff. 1-877-GAME-OLR or a username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, all one word, if you want to give us a call and talk about anything we've talked about tonight or possibly something else. Maybe there's something in the news we missed that you want to talk to us about. Hey, stay tuned till the end of the show because I do have an announcement regarding next week's show. It's a pretty good one, so stay tuned for that.
Hey, can we get like a world record for like the most views in like a... What's that? The channel or whatever that they have, the PlayStation 4 thing with the camera and
Playroom.
Yes, they should have a world record for the most views, consecutive views of Playroom. Whatever it takes.
It would be pretty high from those chicks who are taking their tops off.
We need to up the ante.
I've seen 800 viewers in a channel.
Human
before
sacrifice.
All right. Well, we got the phones ringing, so let's get to it. Hi, you're on Orange Lounge Radio. Who's this?
The residential convention whore, Ranma.
Hey, Rama. How's it going?
Good. How about you guys?
We are doing very well.
So I hear y'all kind of playing around since Jamie's not there. Guys' night out.
I don't know if I call it playing around. You know, Shane's just running his mouth, but what else is new?
I'm not running my mouth. I had my microphone on mute.
But sure, it can be a bro down tonight. What do you want to chat with us about?
All right, I want to talk about something different. I don't know if you saw this, but last week, you know how Nintendo is releasing the limited edition Mario Kart 8 Green Edition in Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I posted on my Facebook, and I said that they want $300, or I guess $330 for this. Fuck you, Nintendo. Wait till the price drops to $250, then we can talk. Because I personally think that it's overpriced for the technology that's behind it. And if you saw, it became a very interesting conversation. Now, a couple of days later, I noticed I have a message waiting for me on Facebook in my other folder, and I go check it out. Somebody was really so butthurt that they decided to write a flame essay to me about why the Wii U doesn't suck.
And this is how Facebook is ruining America, to be quite honest.
I just sat there and I just laughed. And he's telling me that I'm a moron for thinking that. And as he's trying to tell me it's better, he goes into reviewing some new Super Mario Brothers or something else, how it's so much better. And I'm just like, if you're going to flame me, at least be a little bit more precise and be straightforward. Mm-hmm. But I understand everybody has their consoles, what they like and don't like. Because when I first got my 360, I dealt with the same thing. I bought the 360 because at the time, it has more games that I will play on it. Now that I have a 360 and a PS3, if you look at my library, I think it's 3 to 1 of 360 games to PS3 games.
Some of the Nintendo fans are extremely passionate, and you know, yes. I understand. You know what's funny, Rama? There's people that listen to this show that call me a Nintendo fanboy, and that I'm blind to all this other stuff, you know, or whatever. And I kind of think I usually think I'm pretty equally critical and fanboy. You know, there's things I love about Nintendo, but there's things that really bother me about them too. Exactly.
I don't think you're being fanboyish at all. I mean, maybe you are, but for every single console that comes out, we rejoice for a while, sure. And then we're like, the company's doing, we're like, wait, what are you doing? Right. We got to call you out and just play it down the middle, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, personally, I just look at it from a technological point of view. I just personally feel Nintendo is asking for too much money. But as we all know, Nintendo is probably the only company that makes a profit off of their consoles.
Right. They do now. I don't think they used to, but they do now.
Well, from my understanding, they from back as 8-bit NES, they were making profit over every single console till the 3DS. Then they had to do the price cut.
Right.
And now I think they're now making money off of that. And
did they profit on GameCube? I thought GameCube was one where they didn't profit. I could be wrong.
I think they made like between $15 to $20 off of every GameCube sold.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. That's part of their strategy.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, the power behind it. If Nintendo was to knock it down to $250, yeah, I have no problem going to Nintendo World or Best Buy, whatever, and giving them my money and walking out with a system. I'm just waiting for the price to come down, and I'm not going to make the same mistake I did with the N64, buying it for one game and realizing that I'm not really liking this game.
So, where are things now with you and this guy? Like, did you just end up banning him or what?
No. He sent the message and he blocked me after he sent it. So I went to my personal blog and I just said my piece and walked away.
I mean, what did he hope to gain from that whole thing? I mean, when you come out swinging like that,
he's figured out that I'm right.
Yeah, and the fact that he's like, I'm wrong. He's like, he also bought it for his kid. I'm like, you are not setting the proper precedence, sir. You need to stop.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think that's the right way to win somebody's opinion over, going, fuck you, you fucking fuck. You know, like, I just don't think that's the right way to do it. Like, I think just kind of like, Rama, are you considering this? Or something like that might be, like, a better way to do it, right?
Exactly.
So, if only more people in the gaming industry could kind of think that way. I shouldn't say the industry. Gaming fandom really could think that way, right?
Not just gaming fandom.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? All right, Rama. Anything else to share with our listeners tonight?
Yes, I picked up yet another bumper for the VOG network.
Oh, wow. What'd you get this time?
Check it out.
Oh, boy.
My name is Voltaire, and you are listening to VOG on the VOG Network. Geek shows for geeks by geeks. I'm a geek. Are you a geek? I hope you are, because if not, don't hit me. Not the face. Not Papa's moneymaker.
That was great.
That was great. That's awesome. Voltaire?
There you go.
Who's that?
Voltaire.
Voltaire. Shane doesn't know who Voltaire is, Rama.
Wait. Shane doesn't know who Voltaire is?
I don't know who Voltaire
Should
is.
I know?
GTFO.
I don't know who fucking Voltaire is. Stop,
I know thanks
beating
to
around the bush. Who the fuck is this person, and why should I care?
I know thanks to VogNetwork.com, but go ahead, Rama.
Voltaire is a geek-centric music composer, pretty much. He did a song that plays on VOG from time to time called "The USS Makes Shit Up."
He's named. I keep finding the classic one. I'm trying to find the newer musician. There it is. That's what he looks like. There, but usually he's dressed up in more garb or whatever. I don't usually see him.
Yeah, and he kind of was. He was also pretty drunk and tipsy too.
Well, go search VOG Network, because I remember there was an "I Love This
cool.
Song" article. Yeah.
Yep.
Good job.
All right. Good job. And now you've educated on who he is.
And I'll forget tomorrow.
Brad says he's at Dragon Con. Actually, his music's really good. It's kind of like it's like gothy nerdy stuff. It's pretty cool. So, all right, Rama, I'm gonna let you go to get more calls in, but thanks so much for the call.
Hey, no problem, bro. Stay black.
All right, I will. Bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, 1-877-GAME-OLR, or a username on Skype, Orange Lounge Radio, if you want to give us a call. I'm not going to keep it open too long, because we're running a little long tonight. It's already 9:15 here on the West Coast. Our first part of the show was a little bit long. I'm actually trying to go to the Twitter right now. I didn't see a whole lot of links or anything come through, but I think I saw some, FYI heads up types of things coming over. I see Dark Tetsuya sending us a tweet saying, apparently one of our other local indie podcast, Fistful of Potions, was taping at a local comic shop during Free Comic Book Day. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought to do that, but I know a lot of people getting out during Free Comic Book Day, so that's pretty awesome that they participated. I, on the other hand, missed Free Comic Book Day, and I missed... What was the other free day they did not let long ago? I'm missing all the free days. It's sad. But anyway, we have another call coming in. Hi, you're on Orange Launch Radio. Who's this?
Legend of Zaku here.
Hey, Zaku. Long time no chat. How you doing?
Nothing much. Just killing a Sunday evening playing Gran Turismo.
Yeah, me too, except without Gran Turismo. Oh, you got a little rig.
He can explain those cars.
Yeah, he can explain all the car names that Shane butchered earlier. Are you saying your goodbyes to Gran Turismo 5, or are you on 6 now?
So I mean, they're killing online multiplayer, so I'm kind of regretting the fact that I never partaken in it. So this kind of makes up for it. After a while, I had to, give in and buy 6. But at least I have a steering wheel for it, though. So that's probably the only good thing about it. Yes, nice shiny Logitech G27. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that whole I guess that whole shtick with the with Call of Duty essentially like jumping the shark again, releasing the trailer for the new version. And I'm just like wondering whether or not like Activision is repeating history in terms of saturating the market with one particular genre of video game to the point where it's critical mass and it basically it just crashes.
Well, it's only one a year, right? I mean, this has been happening in sports games since video games existed, so maybe not. I mean,
sports games, it's kind of expected you're gonna, players expect an updated roster to reflect the the current state of the
Zaku, you were a big time Bamani fan, and Konami used to put out new DDRs every year, and I think it was very disappointing when they stopped.
True, but I got over it, and that's why I have 2DX to fall back on. But even then, you do have a point in that they also release arcade mixes every year,
right?
For certain of theirs. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that everything that Activision has pretty much taken to the extreme, ran with, has pretty much at some point fizzled out for them. And so I'm just wondering whether or not Call of Duty is the next one, because at this point, Activision isn't really doing anything other than Call of Duty and Skylanders. Wait a
minute though, because Activision has Blizzard, which has a whole other thing going on there. Activision is partnered with Bungie. Activision is going to have Destiny. That has the potential to be huge.
They also have Skylanders.
Yeah, well, he said Skylanders.
Just said. But I mean, aside from that, it's just licenses. Like, you would expect someone to be diversified. Let's say, like EA, for example, which learned the hard way to not really rest on a sure thing.
Wait, are you counting out Cabela's?
But that's a cash grab. Most of the things that's what I just mentioned. It's all
hunting.
You know what EA did, Zaku? What EA did to diversify their portfolio is they bought a bunch of other companies with the cash on hand. They have the partnership with BioWare. They freaking own PopCap and have just kind of ruined it, and as we all knew they would, and so on.
On the other hand, who's more likely to take a chance on something new, them or Activision?
Neither. What's going to end up happening is indies are going to be the ones that take a chance on something new. The thing is, the trend in the gaming industry right now, especially the big AAA publishers, is you publish less, but you publish less titles, but better titles, and that's what they're doing. They're sticking with titles that they're going to have no problems with. Although Activision occasionally will take like a license, like Walking Dead or the Fast and Furious, and take a big pile of shit on top of it. I don't know how you fucking ruin a Walking Dead game.
Kind of makes the Game of the Year version.
Zaku, Loki makes a great point about the indies are going to be the ones that really innovate. I mean, EA and Activision are probably kicking themselves that they didn't think of Minecraft. They probably tried to write. I bet you both those companies have offered to write Notch a blank check to get Minecraft. And, as much as Notch's stubbornness kind of drives us all bonkers in the industry sometimes when it comes to things like Oculus Rift, you have to hand it to him that he has not sold that out.
True, that is true. He basically, with the whole Facebook deal, he pretty much flat out explained why he didn't want to back that horse anymore, because it was pretty much funded by a mega corporation that started out small, but then it became a lot larger than it. And that's not what something huge and something critical in everyday lives.
And that's not what he wants to happen to Mojang. So
exactly, they don't want to jump the shark essentially in their own corporate culture.
Right.
They believe in terms of of not being the man as opposed to just them going against the man, which is what they're doing. And so far, Mojang's doing pretty damn well, especially for something that was essentially a beta for most of its existence. That was like one of the best-selling betas, long before DayZ on Steam, and that's not even out yet. And people are still paying $30 just to try a game that still might have still rough around the edges.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, Zaku, I've got to wrap things up because we're going to be wrapping up the show. But any other thoughts, real quick?
I guess the only one I had that I was trying to get to last week was the whole Nintendo basically doing everything in their power to shoo away independent developers. Meanwhile, Sony and Microsoft, I would imagine, have like developer outreach divisions just for independent developers.
Sony sure does at this point. Did you see this week on their blog? Sony was like on just some random ass Wednesday or Thursday. It was just like, hey, guess what? Bam, announcement. Bam, announcement. Bam, Spelunky, PlayStation 4. Bam. It was like all these indie announcements came out in advance of E3 this week on Sony.
Not to mention, I even bought Guacamelee like an hour ago on PSN. I was just like trying to grab whatever some of the flash sales, some of the things selling this weekend. So, it gives credence to the fact that Sony and Microsoft, they try to diversify and not just AAA games, but just something that would give you a reason to buy their platform, even if it's a small one.
I would say Nintendo's has got an image problem in the development community right now, both large and small, both third party and independent. And people can argue with me all they want on that. I think we would be fighting over the severity of that, honestly. But I think no matter where you look at it, Nintendo's got an image problem they've got to fix.
It further reinforces the point why developers are running away from the Wii U. It's like it's like a redheaded stepchild that they don't want to talk about because it's dated. It's just like I use this expression from The Simpsons of an episode where they try to reinvent Malibu Stacy, but all they end up doing is just repackaging her with a new hat. That's what I think of the Wii U. It's basically the Wii with just an HDMI port.
We'll see what happens come E3 and what Nintendo can do to fix that image problem. But Zaku, I'm going to let you go so we can wrap up the show. But take care, buddy.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. All right, that is going to do it for the Skype line tonight because we're damn near 9:30, so I've got to wrap up the show. I'm very sorry to those that didn't get through. If you wanted to get on tonight's show and you weren't able to get through it, please consider sending us an email, participate@orangelaunchradio.com, or you can send us a tweet, twitter.com/OLR. I'm going to check in with Loki real quick to see if he has any last-minute stories.
Yeah, real quick, there's a couple things. One, there's this game I actually saw on Kickstarter. It's sort of looks like Jet Set Radio. It's called Hover Revolt of Gamers, and there's the great gameplay. They kind of describe it like Mirror's Edge and Jet Set Radio. Well, to make it even more like Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio, they have a stretch goal of 60,000, which is going to add the composer Hideki Naganuma, which I hope I didn't mispronounce that, but he was the original producer or the original composer for. That's right, Jet Set Radio.
Oh, interesting.
So, all right. That'd be pretty cool. And then this is kind of neat looking. This thing called Project Evo, and it's apparently an iOS game made by this company, Kili Interactive Labs. And apparently playing this game will be able to kind of evaluate you to see if you might be susceptible for... Alzheimer's. So that's kind of interesting. And they're also saying that they're attempting to use the same research, I guess, to diagnose ADHD, autism, and depression. So very kind of neat game that can, basically evaluate your state of being. And last but not least, looks like there's this game actually I saw a while ago, Hat in Time. It was also another Kickstarter project, and what's kind of cool about it, though, is it looks very much like Wind Waker. And apparently now they're having the alpha version of the game available if you backed it or if you have it on pre-order. And it looks very, very, very pretty. So check that out if you like the Wind Waker platformer type games. And you like your games look very, very pretty.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap up another episode of Orange Lounge Radio, but I do have one other last-minute story. This involves next week's show. This is pretty cool. Loki, I don't even think I've had a chance to tell you about this yet, but next week on the show, we're going to have a special guest. We are going to have a live interview, and this is pretty cool. We're going to have a live interview here on the show with Christopher Tin, who was the composer of Baba Yetu, the song that won a Grammy, the first song to ever win a Grammy from a video game.
Nice.
So Christopher Tin's going to be on next week's show. He'll be here live to take your questions. So make sure you're here next week, live Sunday night, May 11th, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern at the Voice Geeks Network, live.vognetwork.com. Christopher Tin's promoting a new album. We're going to talk about that, and we'll talk, of course, about his experiences winning the Grammy and composing for Civ. And I definitely want to get into some of the questions about how video games kind of continue to influence him, if they do, and all that. So he will be here live, and your questions as well in the chat room, live.vognetwork.com. All right. That is going to do it for tonight's episode. We're going to go around and get everybody's final thought here first. Shane, thanks for filling in tonight. Appreciate it. I'm sure
no problem.
I'm sure in the coming weeks we'll see more of you, especially now that you're back here in Northern California. But do you have any final thoughts for listeners tonight?
No, unless you guys can give me some stuff in Pokemon.
What Pokemon do you need? What ones are left?
I don't know. I have their dex numbers written down somewhere. I am like 7 away from being done.
Wow.
7.
You made progress tonight. You're 17 at the start of the show.
Yeah.
Go you.
I know. I'm awesome.
All right. My final thought tonight is they need to fix that freeway faster because I'm not looking forward to getting Alan from work with all that stupid freeway mess. Stupid Highway 50.
What freeway mess?
Highway Fix 50, that whole thing. Haven't you heard about that?
I keep seeing the things for it, but
with your commute and everything, you never really go through downtown. I have to do it. So it's downtown.
I fucking hate downtown.
Yeah, I know. I like downtown, but I don't like driving.
I like the shops and stuff downtown, but I fucking hate driving. I hate driving in any like major city. Well, Sacramento's a pretty major city, but it's not like, San Francisco or anything. But I hate like metropolitan areas. I hate driving in that kind of stuff.
All right, Loki, your final thought tonight.
My final thought is hopefully I have enough caffeine or consciousness in me to get some more coding done this week, and hopefully I'm going to work a little bit more on asset stuff so that the next video I do will actually be interesting, and I have something to show. And it's funny, the first video I recorded, I didn't realize that the microphone from my webcam was on. I'm like, why do I hear clicking? Oh, it's picking that up. In the second video, of course, I talk a little bit, but see, I talk really quietly, so it sounds like I'm like, because I'm up at night, like at 11 o'clock at night. My wife's asleep, so I can't talk loud because it'll wake everybody up.
Be very quiet.
Yeah. So.
All right, that does it for another episode of Orange Lounge Radio. If you listened to the whole show, thank you very much for sticking with it tonight, and we really appreciate it. We don't ask for money for doing this show. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily turn it down either, but no, in all seriousness, all we ask, tell a friend or two about the show. Help spread the word about Orange Lounge Radio and help grow our family, because like Loki said earlier, we've been doing this show for 12 years. And no one knows. So help us break that by getting more people to listen to our show. We appreciate it. Grow our family. Thank you guys very much for supporting independent radio. And that's going to do it for this week. We will be back next week. Dark Sakura should be back. Christopher Tin will be here. It's going to be a big show, so don't miss it. Next week. We'll see you then. Good night.
You've been listening to Orange Lounge Radio. Orange Lounge Radio is a production of OLR Studios. To join us for a live show, tune into VogNetwork.com Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of the staff of Orange Lounge Radio or Vog Network, but they were all still true. See you next week.